Hey, it is episode 9 of the DODCAST. We are back. Today we've got, of course, as always, Tony Compton. And special guest today, we've got Nein. Tony number 2 here. How's it going, Nein?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
We've been
yeah.
wanting to get you on here for a while.
Yeah.
Big week to recap.
Big fucking week.
A lot of
around.
action. A lot of drama.
Yeah, matches and community shit, obviously. There's a lot of shit going down all around.
Yeah,
we've been very busy this week.
Very. Almost too
I don't
busy.
even want to beat around the bush. I want to get right into it.
All right.
First and foremost, if you check out the KTP Google Doc, you could see has the code of conduct been updated, or are we just reiterating it?
The code of conduct has been the same code of conduct since we released it. We just have to keep copy-pasting it.
Yeah, it really has.
Pretty standard code of conduct for anyone who's been a part of a reasonable society. I guess basically if you're a Neanderthal, you might have some issues with it. So, just maybe take another read through it and remind yourselves that we're a small community. We should just be respecting each other.
Yeah, let's not be DOD players like we used to be. Let's just be people. Because DOD
we live in a
players
society.
Yeah, we live in a society.
Next thing, weekly match page. I think a lot of people are not letting admins know when their matches are being scheduled, so we're not able to get those on the doc like we would like, or in Discord.
Yeah,
I think Silver's
Discord.
the main culprit here. I think Gold's been doing a good job of it.
Yeah.
Silver captains, let the admins know when your matches are scheduled if you don't mind.
Silver is definitely a little guilty of that, above all.
They're doing a little scrambling too with the makeup matches and stuff and trying to fit everything. So
I forgot about that. They have a lot of extra shit to try to get scheduled now.
Yeah, and to be fair, when we released the Dodcast last week, we did not know Chu's team was fully functional.
Yeah.
So we were assuming there were going to be buys going out. So I do want to correct that. Chu does have a team to all you Silver teams, so you might want to check your schedule and see if you have been scheduled retroactively versus them. I'm sure everyone knows, but just a heads up.
Right, yeah, I know that we were speculating about that at the time, but now we obviously see for sure as they did play their first match today, but that's for later.
Yeah, that's for later. Let's see. Next, we did have a bunch of suspensions go out this week.
Yes.
Mostly for missing screenshots.
Yeah, that was the main culprit.
Evidence.
Yeah, as we can see here, we got Vanaki missing a screenshot, Stamp missing a screenshot, Hambuga missing a screenshot, Hambuga code of conduct, that is an indefinite now, and then Scotty of typical.
Big one, Scotty.
Yeah, that is the big one. They had to forfeit their match against Clinic on Chemille, suspended for the remainder of the season. He didn't have any screenshots, I believe, for Chemille or the previous week, right?
He did make a statement saying that it was a technical issue.
Yeah.
So take that as you will. I don't think Scotty cheats in matches. I'll say that. So
it's unfortunate.
Or scrims, from my experience.
Yeah.
Let me just get that out there too. But a little unfortunate. It sounds like, from what I understood, the admins really tried to give him a way out here.
Yeah.
And he just could not provide enough evidence. So unfortunate twist there.
It is
gonna
a little
hurt typical
bit,
for sure.
I know, yeah, that sucks for them. They were in first place, obviously, and then have to take a loss. And it's such a weird scenario because he was trying to take the screenshots, with some other program though. I don't know what it is about
I don't know about
F5
that.
or whatever and stuff. But because you got if F5 doesn't work for you, you can use the Steam screenshots or even hit print screen and then just paste it. That would be kind of an even bigger pain in the ass, I think. But just as alternative ways for people that are having problems with screenshots to avoid this potentially happening, because this is an age-old situation in DOD leading to suspensions since day one.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. We're getting so close to the playoffs, and speaking kind of on behalf of the AC team, we're not out to try to suspend or ban anybody. We just want to make sure that the environment is fair. And the problem is when you don't provide screenshots, we can't tell if you're playing fairly or not. When it comes to seeing if someone is cheating, there's the demo aspect of it, but there's also manipulation of game files that, you can only detect through screenshots. So,
Yep.
you know, as much as it sucks and we don't like to do it, like if you don't provide the evidence we're requesting, you know, we're going to have to apply the rules to you. So,
Yeah, it's the only fair way to do it. Like, when it comes down to it, no matter what anybody tries to say, like, it happens to your guy on your team, it sucks, and people might be like, that's stupid. But if it was a guy on another team in a game that you lost, you'd probably want those rules applied to them too. So, like, you got to think about it from both angles if it feels unfair to you at the time.
Yeah, and the random selection, like, that's good. That's helping people out, in my opinion, because you're going to take your suspension if you fucked up in the regular season instead of playoffs.
Yeah.
So, like, Van O'Key, he's probably going to have his shit together going for it. I guarantee Cheat has all his players figured out going forward after
Oh,
this.
yeah, he ain't fucking around.
So, I would just, you know, if you notice you don't have screenshots and you think you were taking them, then clearly something's up. You know, you need to fix that.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
there's no excuse to be missing screenshots for multiple weeks.
No.
And think it's okay.
I get that not everybody has played the game for 20 years. Like, it's second nature to me at this point to take like 40 screenshots, you know, before each half and stuff. But we have had this whole issue came up last season in a very big way. So, and now there's a second one. At this point, it's like,
I was going to speak to that. You
Yeah.
know, I've been personally through this where one of my own teammates, you know, on our starting six was not able to play in the finals of last season because
Yep.
of screenshots. We also kind of early on in the season when we started doing the random pulls, I think we did 3 or 4 weeks at a time, and everybody that would have been hit by that rule, we kind of gave an exemption because, you know, hey, it's a new season, and we just sent out this blast. Hey, take your screenshots. This is your warning. Please do it. And so at this point, you know, it's in the rule set. We've given an additional warning. If you don't have your stuff when we request it, you're going to get the rules applied to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was getting to the point where it was like people are saying AC's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And like, but they are, you know, they're just, and now they're doing too much apparently. So
Yeah,
well,
there's
that's
no
the
way.
rub. You know, if AC does something, we get in trouble, and then if AC doesn't do something, we also get in trouble.
Yep.
So
it's a
very
thankless job.
fun time being an admin.
It is a
Being an
thankless
admin
job.
in DoD has to be the most thankless position
Honestly.
in the history of administrators.
We all made fun of Wicked Pete back in the day when he disappeared on Sivo as the head admin, but now I get it. Like, it's too much. And there's always going to be 50% of the people pissed off at you. Like, there's just no way around it. It sucks. While behind the scenes, we're all like sitting here stressing out into oblivion, trying to make sure that we do right by everybody and give everybody like an equal opportunity to succeed here. But people just hate us for it, which, you know, that I get it. When I wasn't an admin, I fucking hated the admins too, so.
Welcome to the inner circle.
Yeah.
What's it called? The DoD Council?
The DoD Council, yeah.
I remember now.
He's in the council.
Yep. It's fucking ridiculous, but.
I'm in the Shadow Council.
Yeah, the Shadow Council, there you go.
The council behind the council.
I forgot we even had. Did we mention that last week that Debo had been suspended last week for the same thing too?
No, I don't think these suspensions were out when we did the DODCAST.
Yeah.
Even if they were, I didn't know.
Yeah, he already missed his match. It was Chemille.
No, Debo was the first official suspension of this season, and
Nice.
then when we did the random pulls this week, I said, "Oh, we need another tab.
We need more. We need a whole.
No,
suspension.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so that was the first technically. So this already had its first wave coming with just Debo. Obviously, you can see PB there from last season.
And is it? I don't know how much you want to reveal here as far as like the AC process, but I'm assuming these were like one screenshot missing from these people, correct? That got the one match suspension.
Yeah, it depends on the half, and it depends on the screenshot itself. We're a little bit more lenient with certain screenshots where, you know, player models are involved versus scoreboard type screenshots.
But
the general premise is there are 3 screenshots that everybody in the league has to take per half. There's 2 that you do before the half and 1 afterwards. Read the rule book. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, please.
Yeah.
And snipers do have an additional one.
Yeah.
Yes, captains as well have an additional one on top of
Archon
it.
status, yeah.
And it's always better to do too much. Like, take it from me.
Oh, absolutely.
If I opened
Document
up,
dump 'em.
Yeah, if I opened up my, like that, because I have all my demos organized into like single folders of like Chemille versus Slow Loris, and then it's just like 100 screenshots and the demos. Like, I will take so many because I don't want to, by any chance, miss out on one of them and then be like, oh my god, I can't believe like I didn't get one with both player models and a scope. So I just fucking slam it.
I used to love sending like 20 screenshots in when I got to speed.
Yeah. That's your way to stick it to the admins. Make them deal with 100 screenshots rather than just the 3, you know?
We did have a random pull this week that sent us almost 100 screenshots. It gave me a chuckle.
Yes,
That's a
that's
good time.
perfect.
That's pretty wild.
I'm glad for that.
But yeah, so take your screenshots.
Yeah,
If you don't know, if you're
please.
having issues with your screenshots, like
Let
I would
us
message
know
an admin
ahead, yeah.
immediately and be like, "Can I stream on top of this or
Right,
something?"
something.
Like there's ways to figure it out. But
Right, we can
pretending
always...
it's all going to be okay and putting your head
No,
in the
yeah.
ground, that's not the way.
That was kind of the direction that I think PB went with it last season, and it just, at the really the last possible second, came back to bite him, unfortunately.
Well, the argument last season was, he's not cheating, why do we care about screenshots? And it's just like, are you serious? Like, I don't think he cheats, but you got to have fucking screenshots. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, just like Nine said, like, you got the demo and you got your screenshots. HLTV is pretty terrible trying to catch cheaters.
Yeah.
It's not worthless, but it's pretty bad. So screenshots have always been the way to see if someone fucks up and leaves their ESP on, or they're using custom models, things like that. So
Yep.
to say that they don't matter is just crazy.
Yeah, it really, and that's the thing is, people might think like there's no way somebody would leave their cheats on in a screenshot, but it has happened multiple times, so there's been
Right.
that mistake, believe me.
And the last big suspension, we have our first KTP indefinite ban,
Yeah.
and that is Hambuga for breaking the code of conduct. I'm not going to go too deep into this. I mean, if you don't know how to behave towards fellow people in the community, I don't give a fuck if you're shit talking people privately, but if someone is streaming and they leak that, that's on you. You know that, like, I'm sorry, like, maybe you didn't know, but whatever. And you continue to be like that, like, fuck you, you know. So good riddance to people like that.
I mean, yeah, in this
And-
day and age, you gotta just kind of, honestly, just conduct yourself as if there's always a lot of people watching.
Yeah, like, if you don't live your life like that, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's just how we live in a society, you know.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
I am someone who is constantly causing controversy in some way or another, but I at least try to respect everyone. Like, I don't try and get personal. You know, sometimes I fell at that, but still, like, that's just insane to
Little
me.
bit.
Like, as far as they've gone, especially Hambuga, like, and then they think that he should be unbanned. That's just what's hilarious to me. Like, come on.
Yeah.
There's like pages on this fucking kid.
The
Yeah, there's
only
a lot.
thing I'll add to the conversation, I feel like the kind of comprehensive KTP admin post that we put forward the other day is kind of self-explanatory. It's just, we're not playing DOD in the early 2000s anymore. It's 2022. The climate today is very different than it was. Abide by the code of conduct, please.
Exactly.
I mean, it's to the point where if you can't, then just fuck off. Go back to source, because we don't have time for that. No one wants to put up with that.
Yeah, look at how much shit that cost. I mean, I still haven't caught up on all the shit that just went down the last 3 days.
I think
All
there's been
because
about
some-
10,000 messages in Discord
Yeah.
over the past
Because
48 hours.
because like 2 children just can't act like they're not 12. I mean, that's
it.
really all it is. So that's unfortunate, but honestly, fuck them. I don't care. Like, if
Yeah.
you can't act like an
that's-
adult, then fuck off.
It sucks for them too, player-wise, you know, like that, and that's their fault, you know, like, well, that's his
Yeah, I
fault.
mean, that's essentially like harboring a second Flux at this point. So, and they already are on
Did get
thin
to
ice
that
with
point.
Flux. So,
You know, and Hambuga's a good player, and they would have definitely preferred to have him for the playoff stretch and dealing with teams like Price is Right and
maybe
shit.
they shouldn't be dumb fucks. That's
Yeah,
what I
they
would try.
fucked up there, so I
And
believe
it sucks
that
because there are a couple people on that team that I've played with in the past, and I think are decent people. But yeah, when you're top down like that, just being completely stupid, I don't know.
The
I
other
can't help
thing
you.
that I will add here is, I know from personal experience that one or a few people on your team acting in a certain way is not indicative of everyone on that team
Right,
acting in
yeah.
a certain
For
way.
sure,
So
for sure.
I definitely wouldn't lump everybody in the boat of the guy that just got suspended. It's just doubling down after the fact is a bad look, though, on a certain
that's
people's-
where it went very much awry. It was where it just kept going and going. I'd say that was where the biggest problem came from. It is like, just if you just stop, then you could have at least had some damage control in the situation. But
Yeah, you know, I think Six said it best. Just take the L, try and coach your friends up to not be pieces of shit, and
Yeah.
then that's the way to go. But
it's always the safest.
sometimes you can't do that because you're just born like that. I don't know.
Yeah, All right, what's next? We've dwelled on this for quite a while.
Let's just go into the silver recap.
Okay, let me get to that motherfucker. Oh, I guess I should pull up the screenshots page, actually. Here we go.
First one I wanted to talk about was Moose
Where is
Knuckles washed up.
Okay, I'll find that. Where is Mr. Moose Knuckles? Wow, I really got to scroll through a lot of fucking... There it is. Okay, so that was a big win for Washed Up there by about 233. Damn.
Yeah, pretty
Ooh.
big blowout, and I think we expected that.
Yeah, and Sean, as expected, dropped some bombs. You know, like that was kind of the way that it ran down for me prediction-wise was like Moose Knuckle. They got a couple guys, especially Duality and Quack Duck, that could put up some numbers and maybe help bring it back, but Washed Up is just, they're such a good team. I mean, look at how evenly spread out the frags are. You got Arachnid top fragging with the sniper rifle
Yeah,
on
looks like
Chemille,
Arachnid's back.
which is just crazy. That's
Secretly still playing well.
Yeah, Secretly's been great. He did also get to ring
Defrag,
today and
nice
drop
have.
bombs. Yep, Defrag's been great. Really, they just are a really well-balanced team across the board. It's still nuts to me seeing a sniper top frag on Chemille. That's something that, like, that's like, you know, me in 2006 kind of shit. Like, snipers usually don't like Chemille. I'm one of the rare ones, and it looks like Arachnid is too. That's wild.
I think Chemille is one of those maps where, kind of like Harrington, a team could really assert some dominance if you're wiping out waves, because just the time that it takes you to get back from spawn towards your one can be a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you're able to wipe out 5 or 6 and get that cap, things can spiral out of control very quickly.
Right, it's a slippery slope. It really does start to go downhill quickly like an avalanche. And there's just so many like goods, especially when you're Axis going factory, or really going either way. When you get pushed up to the Allied one, there's a lot of really nice angles to go for like 4 or 5 kills at a time. And I'm guessing that that's what was going on here with Washed Up. Looking at some of their frag totals, like ended up right around 30. That's not the easiest thing to do on Chemille, which I don't think a lot of people realize. Like, you see, really on Chemille, what on most maps you'd consider, you know, a 50 kill have to be, for Chemille, that's like 35. Like, if you get a 35 on Chemille, it's basically like getting a 50 on a Harrington kind of map. So those guys really, really put up some numbers there.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be a one-sided affair here. Looks like right at a 40 kill differential on both halves. So,
yeah. Moose Knuckles still, you know, they're getting it together little by little. The matches are getting closer. They played CIS really well last week on Solitude. They got their lineup back together here with like their actual starters, which is good to see. Sean brings a really, really good player to the mix with a lot of experience that should help that team, you know, bring things together.
Defrag didn't play as Ducksworth.
Yeah, I know. What's with that?
Which would have been the triple duck / bird.
Yeah. You got Big Bird, Quack Duck, Ducksworth, yeah.
He must be serious business since playoffs coming up.
Yeah.
Well, even with the kind of the one-sided affair, they still put up 133, which is a lot more than a lot of other teams were able to get on their Chemille. So,
yeah.
You know, that they were in there. They were giving it a shot.
They did. They went all in.
Yeah, and they've been grinding out this season. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for Moose Knuckles. They don't cause any drama. They just show up and play.
They do. It's nice. And looking at the standings there, that puts Washed Up to 5-2, right behind the 2 big squads of Love Me Not and Sleepers there. So they are not going away anytime soon. Price is Right, obviously, also at 4-1. They still have a match to play on Chemille, I believe, and obviously some other makeup matches. But that top of silver is going to be fun to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it will. It's going to be one good team getting bounced out too. So
yeah, for sure.
Into that lower bracket.
Yeah.
Or that lower playoff bracket. So
well, we're still discussing internally about that silver bracket.
Okay.
So it might not be a 4-4 affair. We do think that silver is probably going to be all teams make it, but it might be like a 5-3 with a play-in or something instead of a 4-4 split.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll just have to see. Like I said, that's still all in percolation, as well as a possible additional week to work out these makeup matches that haven't been scheduled. But that's all in flux. The goal is to get all of this done before Thanksgiving. If we have to extend past that, we will. It is what it is.
Right.
Is it the whole season before Thanksgiving, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so there probably won't be buys for silver in that first week, right? One's gonna play 8 or whatever. Like if that ends up being a full
Well,
playoff
so
bracket.
I think it would still be 2. Like I think we're still discussing splitting silver into 2. It's
Okay.
just rather than it being a 4-4 split, potentially it could be a 5-3 split. And then
Okay. Yeah.
you would essentially have teams 4 and 5 in that scenario. That is, I am not saying is happening. In that scenario, you'd have teams 4 and 5 playing for the 4th spot, and then a traditional set would occur.
Yeah, that's
Like
right.
a
Like a
play-in.
play-in, yeah. Which would be
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
But then the issue with a play-in is you're adding a quarterfinal week, which is extending the playoffs. So it's, there's some give and take there. We really just have to see how things shake out. We can't see how things shake out until all the makeup matches have occurred.
Yeah.
So please schedule your matches.
Please.
Yeah, and silver's gonna be a shit show with those until the end of until 11-6. And 11-6 is the last day you can play all matches, correct?
Unknown.
Right now, that is correct. Like I said, we will assess in that final week. We're really hoping to get all of these Lennon matches occurring this week and as many makeup matches as can be knocked out. That would be great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, that was Moose Knuckles dropping to washed up 366-133.
Yeah.
Let's keep trucking here. Next matchup was Love Me Not versus Fast Loris.
Okay. Where is that bad boy at? Whoa, where'd it go? I feel like I've been scrolling through this thing forever, and I'm, like, not seeing some matches. Yeah, I don't see the screenshots for that one.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't post it, so I don't know what else to say.
What
pretty
was the
much what we
score?
thought. 254-68.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was, that match, Love Me Not has some real big guns on it. Colin is a ridiculous rifle in general, but also especially on Chemille. I do believe I got to cast the second half of this match, and it was like a lot of Colin going off, Devin going off. Stealth got his licks in, of course. He always does. Who was the other one that was really dropping some bombs? There was one, I think it was Low Carb. Was it Low Carb?
I mean, these aren't posted, right?
No, the screenshots aren't, but I got to cast the second half of it, or like 10 minutes of the second half of it, so I did see some of the match. And Colin had like a 4-kill movie clip clutch as the last guy alive at one point, I know. So, I mean, it was basically what we predicted in the end. Like, even the score, I think, ended up being about what we expected it to be. But without having the screenshots, I can't remember exactly what everybody
I'm
ended
not
up.
going to waste time on this without screenshots, so GG, upload your screenshots. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this team. Just the collective smooth brain organization over there. Love Me Not. All right, let's just go into the match of the week from Silver, which was a double header. Sleepers versus No-Go.
There it is. So on Chemille, they also played Thunder, obviously, but on Chemille, Sleepers, they pulled it out 275-218, about a 57-point win there. That was a pretty fun match to watch.
I'm not sure how much No-Go got to prepare for Chemille. It seemed like they were trying to focus on Thunder since they knew that was their weaker map.
Right, yeah.
Obviously a rough week for No-Go. No Spoon. No, I think this was Jane's last week, so...
Yep. I mean, they
Sapphire
still
lagged out on Allies.
Yeah, that's why
it was a shit show.
Her score.
It was close too. I mean, I think if she didn't lag out, I won't say they win, but it was a very rough moment to lose her, and she was actually playing pretty well, if I'm not mistaken.
She was. Vanaki dropped some serious bombs. Burn got to bust out the light too, which is what we thought might happen, and sure enough, he did some work with it. Overall,
yeah, they went no sniper on Allies, which I think a lot of teams talked about but didn't pull the trigger on.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us snipers don't really give a shit about no Tommy guns, so we're not trying to fuck with that. Plus, I think sniping on Allies is actually the better side to snipe on. You'd rather pull a gun out for Axis, but it looks like they went the opposite direction. Burn is a Tommy just god, and he made them pay with that Tommy. Did he end up?
I bet he was excited to get that Tommy.
I know, right? He's been stuck sniping. He's second top fragged. 26 kills there on the Tommy gun. Vanaki with a double 30 on Chemille. 66 total for the MVP of the week in silver. Of course, Vanaki's just been ridiculous all season.
Unfortunately, he did get suspended for the following week. He will be missing next week, but huge performance for him.
Right, very unfortunate to have that little bit of an asterisk on the week, but it's just a missing screenshot, so nothing too crazy going on there. The demos were there. But yeah, I mean, really, this match was about as close as we expected. I think we had kind of said maybe No-Go could take this, but they're less likely to get Thunder done. Frag-wise, like, it was pretty close, 20 difference. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not too
Yeah, the
bad.
allies are a little skewed since Sapphire lagged out.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Chemille.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, it looks like they dominated them on Axis, and they kind of did, but the score kind of shows it was a little closer than that.
Exactly, yeah.
And like we said, they're missing Spoon.
Spoon, they're your biggest gun.
Their biggest gun by far, so...
And I believe Louis sniping, right?
I think Louis sniped both matches.
Yeah, and he was looking good. It's just, I mean, when you're sniping and if you're not on the offensive on that map, you kind of end up just getting naded into oblivion, which I remember seeing happen to him a lot. So, all in all, can't hang your head.
Apple played well for not being around much. He did get scrimmed during the week.
Dedro played pretty well as well. Matthew, of course, the rock of No-Go, always coming up big and performing.
Yeah, and hopefully I think they'll get... I don't know if Spin's going to be back next week or not, but he should be back for playoffs.
They better hope so.
He should be back for playoffs no matter what.
They need that, man.
Yeah.
Well, and on to the second match of that, which was the big one for Sleepers there, all doubling up on them on Thunder 2. That is a Sleeper's favorite map. This was a very interesting match. I mean, obviously the score doesn't make it look close, but there was a lot of fun stuff going on in it. It was like balls to the wall chaos. They were just, everyone was pushing at all times.
You really saw what a team that's practiced this map and has a strategy that they've been doing for like 2 seasons now versus a No-Go team that's a little more building it as they go here with all these people out this week. So like Louis hasn't sniped much, but he dropped really bombs. Well. Yeah. But then it's just like they had someone ready to break mid in a different spot every
It was
time.
Zaps in particular.
It was LZL sometimes too. Like he was hanging out in church on Axis.
They
just letting them run by him.
There was a point where I think it was either Zaps. I'm pretty sure it was Zaps, where he was prone in lower church for like 4 minutes, just ready to break mid. He finally did.
Yeah, that was Zaps. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like he was there forever, and they just couldn't even get to go for mid for him to break.
And then on Allies, they got LZL in the Axis loft.
Yeah, forever. And then he
letting people get all the way to the cap. So really smart play by them. They were clearly a little more just fresh on that map. I guess I would say just ready for No-Go for that map. And No-Go's never loved that map, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and Sleepers just plays it perfectly. Like that's an optimal Thunder 2 game right there, what they did across the board. 5 guys pushing, 1 guy holding in a reliable way, like a lot of times you can try to leave 1 guy, but it's not, you can't expect a lot from them, but they were in the right positions to always be able to break it with little risk.
I got to see a little bit of that one. It's LZL, the guy that was above Louis in loft for like 5 minutes.
Yes.
Between that, Louis going off with the sniper rifle, and then I think 3 or 4 triple nades to break mid that I saw. Like just nades everywhere. It was a very interesting match to watch, very dynamic. A very different pace than every gold match that we have seen on Thunder.
Right. Seriously. It was like 5 times faster than any gold Thunder match that we've had in these last 2 seasons. They were just like spawn, run straight to try to get to the next flag. Like whatever it takes. It was
a lot of
TKs
fun. For both teams in this
There
match.
was a lot of TKs.
Especially No-Go. But both teams were TKing each other. It was crazy.
You could kind of tell if you look at the scores here. So kills... No-Go had 116 kills, but Sleepers had 120 deaths. So they had 4 suicides or TKs. Sleepers had 124 kills, but No-Go had 130 deaths. So that's 6 suicides or TKs.
Oof.
And that's
rough.
Lot.
And then look at the other half.
I think one of those was a double TK.
So Sleepers did a pretty good job on their Axis half. Just 1 suicide or TK, and then 6 again for No-Go. So they had 12 TKs or suicides between the 2 halves. That's rough.
It was a lot, and it's something they're going to work on going forward.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a product of a fast match like that.
Oh yeah, you got to take chances with nades.
Like people are dying and they're just screaming. They're going for mid, because Sleepers pushes so fast, and they actually had a guy ready to break, and he got TK'd by a teammate, and then that guy runs out and dies. That happened like 3 times. So.
Yeah, it's rough. But that puts Sleepers pretty handily up in first place. Obviously, Love Me
Yeah.
Not has a game to play before we can see if they're going to be tied there.
It sounds like it's going to be a forfeit loss.
Have they played each other even yet, Sleepers and Love Me Not?
No, they play week 9 on Railroad
Oh,
2.
yeah, there it is. Okay. Wow. So, yeah, that's going to be a big last week. Hypothetically, you know, if all things go well for them, although Sleepers washed up, that's a tough match to have to play. And Love Me Not, no-go. And there's probably some makeup matches. Yep, Love Me Not, Price is Right. No-go, Love Me Not again. So
Those
there's
3 matches, from what I understand, are all going to be forfeit wins.
the Love Me Not, no-go, and Love Me Not, Price is Right.
And then Let Me Not No Go again.
I'll believe it when I see it. But regardless, there's going to be a lot to see how those top 5 seeds play out over the last few weeks there. Right now, Sleepers is up by a game or a half a game on Love Me Not, and then they're up by a half a game on Washed Up, who's up by a half game on Price is Right, who's up by a game on No Go. So those top 5 there. Actually, CIS has jumped up into the number 6 spot. Good for them.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. They got the win today. We could actually go over that too. There was another match played today, although I didn't get to see it. I wasn't on, but they played on. Is this Thunder? Yeah, it looks like Thunder.
Yeah.
Okay, and CIS beat the new team, Bedtime, 136 to 106. Now, if you notice, you look at the Bedtime team. They have 1, 2, 3 ringers, so it's not really their full roster. But CIS right there, Riley Stafford dropping bombs again. The guy is just so good. Fyro dropping some good kill totals, and of course Hong Kong Mafia on the sniper there on Axis. Riley 20 and 17, Hong Kong Mafia again. Deutschland, Fyro. And then over here, oh my God, secretly had a 40 bomb ringing.
Yeah, saw that, yeah.
Wow, what a beast. He is just getting better and better every day because he keeps playing. The guy's got pro gamer genetics already, and it shows in how quickly he's picking up DOD.
I wonder if he was carring.
Yeah, I am curious
Had to
what the
be,
class is. I'm guessing, yeah. Because realistically, you figure what, Chu probably
Well, I
on the
guess he could
stuff?
have sniped.
Could have sniped, yeah, actually, that's true. I don't know who else would have.
I don't know, I feel like 40 kills, you're throwing some nades.
Yeah.
If you
in
get
this
40
day
with a
and
sniper,
age.
that's actually insane.
It's pretty rare especially on this map because of the way it's not like Donner where a sniper can just sit in loft all game. You're gonna get walled into
I could see an Axis
smithereens.
sniper doing it, but it would be pretty impressive 40 probably.
I would be curious to see what class he played, but yeah. So I didn't get to watch this game. I know next to nothing about it, but that was 136
today,
to 106. Right? It was, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
was
a few
at
hours
2.
Ago.
Yeah,
I
like
wasn't
3 or 4 hours ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I came back home to messages of asking if I could cast, and I was like, oh, whoops.
Well, congrats CIS on their second win.
Yeah, looking good. Like we said, they're up to number 6 place here now, so they are not going to... If No-Go were to slip up here and lose a couple more matches and CIS can pull off a couple more wins, No-Go might actually fall out of this top
luckily they're
area.
about to get 2 free forfeit wins, so they should be fine.
That would definitely sure it up if that happens, but I'll believe it when I see it. I don't buy that. I think that those matches are still going to get played.
I don't know. Not when you're asking Callie Carlin to be your ringer.
So, that is the silver. That's all silver. That was all the silver matches.
That was it?
Yeah, that was all of them, for sure.
And let's see. A few haven't been played yet. I'm not sure what the deal is with those. CIS Moose Knuckles, I'm not sure when that's going down.
Yeah, so they obviously have weird scheduling things to figure out. Last week on Solitude, I believe they had a little bit of a scheduling mishap where, like, one team thought they were playing at 9 and the other team was like, no, we have to play at 3. And so, but they did end up playing Solitude, but they're just going to have to figure it out again.
That's true. So it'll probably be a weird time. I imagine Moose Knuckles will need a ringer or 2.
Yeah, and indubitably. So we'll see when that plays out. There's a lot of, like, there could be silver matches any day of the week at any time because there's so many makeups to get played. So we'll see when that pops off. Obviously, also, Price is Right and Bedtime Now has to play, but, you never know when that's going to happen. Their scheduling has been a little bit tough to get down to, and they can't get 6 on for some of these, like, default times because they're mostly Euro. So they got to try to play at 3, and then, we'll see what happens with all
I think it's going to be a hey, we may have 6 in like an hour,
Yeah, that
and
kind
then
of thing.
they just figure it out on the fly.
And using ringers and stuff, which, that's fine as long as it's not anything crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I thought their ringers today were fine.
Those are totally reasonable ringers.
Secretly, maybe you could argue that's a little strong, but if you look at the rest of their team, like, that's fine.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
I don't
CIS
disagree.
still, I wouldn't say they handily won, but they got the win.
They got the job done. Riley
So
Stafford's
it wasn't like secretly dropping 40 scary, but it still wasn't enough.
No, yeah. Riley Stafford and Hong Kong Mafia brought the pain, man. Those guys are good, and they're getting better.
I mean, Fodder played well too.
Yeah, Bullet did. Really, Bullet, Chi, and Secretly, I think, were the three
God,
top
Bullet had
fraggers.
8 ping in this server. Where was this? I didn't know
Pennsylvania.
he had that low ping in New York. That's insane.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the
Must be
silver
nice.
recap. It must
that's
be
silver
nice,
recap.
yeah. Get on to the gold side of things.
Getting on
now.
to gold, going to gold.
Right now, we're already at 35 minutes, and we haven't even finished. We just finished the silver recap. Tony hasn't even begun to rant, so we're gonna be here a while.
Okay, now let's get to gold. First match in gold. What do I want to talk about? I think I wanted to talk about. Wait, what was our match of the week?
Match of the week was the one last night. T3
That's right.
versus ICI.
T3 versus ICI. So let's just start off. Let's just get the Thunder slow Loris out of the way here. Yeah.
643 to 102. Dorito got the MVP of the week with a absolute. I mean, getting 44 kills on any side of Chemille with any weapon.
Oh, was he this week's MVP?
He was, yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats, Brian.
Yeah, big one for Bry there, getting back into the swing of things now. I
mean, his car is right back to where it's always been.
And he loves Chemille. If you talk shit about Chemille around Brian, he'll fuck you up. So just don't. But yeah,
he went crazy.
He did.
Imposing his will wherever he wanted. Nine, did you get a chance to watch this one? Was it even
We
streamed?
played at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So I saw your score and saw our score, and those are two very different matches.
Yeah, I would have loved to watch your guys' match. I kind of was hoping you were streaming it, but I know you don't like streaming. No one likes streaming matches anymore, which is understandable.
I mean, goddamn, 44. Like I maybe have seen like one or two other times in a competitive situation, like a match, a guy get 44 kills with any gun on this map. That's just nuts. That's like a 60 half on any other map, honestly. That's how I see that.
Just from what I saw, I thought Hopper played really well.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, Hildebrand too.
Yeah, Hildy's always annoying. He's really strong sniper. Gall
Andrade
held his own.
Of course, always tough.
They use Cage as a ringer, so that's always a rough matchup for any heavy. So their heavies actually were stronger than I thought they would be. So I was not prepared for that, but luckily Brian just went crazy and J-Rod had a really strong Axis half with Stas.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Pretty standard for J-Rod.
Yeah, he loves his Stas.
And we pretty much just focused on capping since we needed some points.
Getting them point differential up.
I do like Soloris. I do wonder what the team would have been like if Austin stayed around.
Yeah, and if they could have
I'm glad he's on Icy Hot because that team's good too.
Yeah, But yeah.
Soloris finished strong. I could still really fuck people over getting some wins these last 2 weeks. So
this would be the time to play spoiler. Yeah, like you can come out and upset one of these teams out of playoffs. Just one timely win here. Play spoiler to one of these two teams or these three teams here that are playing for these last two spots. That's
it was awesome to see H-Fly out there. I hope he's got a mic now.
I know. Nick is so cool to see back, just a really old school guy, a great dude, great player. He'll be getting back to that point in no time, I'm sure. And it's always fun to see these guys coming back again.
So yeah, that's Thunder over Soloris.
Yeah.
643-102.
Good game, boys.
Good game. I want to get into PMC over.
Yeah, so this match is insane. None of us got to watch it because we were just playing at the same time. But where the fuck did it go? I was just looking at it.
I think it's right above us.
Yeah, there it is. So 155 to 151, a 4-point win for PMC, which is back-to-back seasons that they won these huge close matches against the Over on Chemille.
I told you this is a PMC map. Chemille is a PMC map. They just play it well. Same with Solitude.
We like Chemille. We like Solitude. They need to be in the playoff rotation.
Chemille used to be a playoff map, and it was not fun.
Yeah, it got really slow. PB with the big top frag there, 65 bomb overall. Nice.
So you guys played Axis first, I assume?
Yes, we did. I believe we got a cap out on Axis, and then they were able to pull one out within the last. It really might have been like a last minute cap kind of situation.
Go ahead, sorry.
I know. But yeah, it was constant back and forth fighting. Underpass was a complete stalemate in both halves. Just you're heavy. You know what goes on over there. A lot of sitting triple and a bunch of nades.
So many.
And I love when this happens, when the half is so close like this, because you know the next half is just going to be a fucking throwdown. Because really, Chemille is not. I mean, it feels Axis-sided at times, but as everyone knows, when allies push you, it can be hell on earth trying to get back into puddle and into quad. So I bet you guys were thinking we're okay, but we're not that okay.
Yeah, kind of ending the first half being 4 up. Definitely wanting to be able to utilize that God spawn to try to sneak a quick cap or something, and really just the second half was just a slog. It was complete stalemate on both sides. Just nobody could really, you press factory, you lose underpass, vice versa, over and over and over.
And I see this was this Jay Lynch's first match for you guys?
He may have rang. Yes, I think this is the first time he rang for us, because we had the match on Rail Yard where we had to pull out Chrono, Hip,
and use a ringer. I think.
And Candy rang for us. And so this was his first match. We were down Crod, so we had to pull in Hip, and then we were also down. Mind has gone blank. Yes, we were down Element.
Oh, Element.
So we were down 2 players. No, it was a really, really close match. We had a really clutch. It really reminded me, Jag, and I think you mentioned it on your stream recently.
The Element,
but the kind of the Element thing, but it was on Allies' side, and we had an over guy jumping out of upper wood to go for the cap, and he got butt stocked by somebody to it didn't kill him. It just stopped him in the air, and then Paul, I think, finished him off with a pistol.
Oh my god!
It was so close. It's hitting those guys that don't have 30 ping. Yeah. You're like, oh my god, he's almost on top of the flag. It's so bad. But yeah, a 4-point win. Just really great game to those guys. It was really, really close. We really enjoy playing over, especially on Chemille. Hoping for that rematch next season.
Right. That's
huge props to your guys' factor team keeping No Name in check.
37 and 23 on Axis. So
and I guess
totally
it looks like secretly rang for over. I didn't realize that. So they were down a man too.
Sokka wasn't there.
Yeah, no Sokka, and that's probably their second best player.
And no Caffrey, obviously.
Yeah, still no Caffrey. I thought he's back, but
apparently
he's still not playing.
Raven had a really good match though. He ended up 26 and 15 on Allies and 19 and 16
Raven heavy?
on Axis.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was going underpass, I believe he heavy. But yeah, he gave us a run for our money.
He's a good heavy. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't heavy more. He was third rifle in a lot last season. I think he's a little better heavy than a third rifle.
I always thought him and Caffrey were their strongest heavy duo.
Yeah, right. Cum on the rifle is just such a force.
Cum should be rifling for sure.
He's not a bad heavy. Yeah, he can heavy, but he's a fucking just a pain in the ass.
He's a true gold rifle.
Yeah,
when he's rifling, but. Great job on that first half. Going to the second half, like you said, sounds like there was a clutch moment there. God, tied up second half too. Jesus.
Yeah, 53, and that's such a low score.
Skill's really tight too. Yeah, so that was just some corner holding.
That's no caps. That's just we're
just hold what we got.
Factory and underpass flag over and over again.
Just thinking if we could just not fuck up, we got this. And on the flip side, they're like, all we need is a little breakthrough, so we don't need to be too aggressive, and that's what happens on Chemille.
I wish I could have casted that. Those are the kind of matches that are the most fun to cast when it comes down to like 2, 3, 4 points.
It's really amazed me how many Icy Hot, sadly, have been so in so many of them, but just how many gold matches this season have come down to sub 10 points on maps that you really don't. I mean, Chemille can get out of hand. You think Thunder, of course, that can be, but we've got Halley and Railroad 1 and Chemille coming down to like under 10 points, under 5 points in a lot of cases. And so it's
stressful.
But it's great DOD in my opinion.
I love it.
You don't want to see somebody steamroll somebody 1200 to 100. Like, you want those close matches. You want that. Well, if only I wouldn't have died at that one point. That's the difference.
Those put the asses in the seats.
Looks like No Name did get rolling second half a little bit.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh, that's
He
what I was
did. He
pointing
did.
out. 37 kills.
Yeah, so he
That's
kept him
nuts.
down a half, but second half he woke up.
Well, no
But
name
But I
in
think,
the car.
I think
what
you'll
you gonna
take
do?
that.
Yeah.
You'll take that all day though.
Oh,
If he has
yeah.
one bad half, you're happy.
Take the W. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely take that all day. So, and where does this put Over in the standings now?
So that was a big one. They had the, they were right next to each other. Now you've got Over down to 3 and 4, and PMC jumps over top of them to 4 and 3.
And Icy Hot does have the tiebreaker over.
Yes, they beat them on
I
rail
had
yard.
to fix the standings. I
Yeah.
had to use my override. Yeah.
But yeah, so that
technically
close.
Yeah, I don't. This last 2 weeks are so huge for these last few spots. So
We'll get into that bad boy later too. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot on the
someone's
line
getting
here.
bounced out of gold playoffs that is going to have been having a pretty good season. I'll say.
Over, Icy Hot, and Clinic are all playing for these last 2 spots. So somebody's going to be gone that really doesn't deserve to be gone, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Those matchups are huge.
And it's possible Clinic wins both these matches, goes to 5 and 4.
Yep.
Thunder loses 2 matches, drops to 5 and 4. Guess who has the tiebreaker there?
Yeah.
So
we could very
There's so
easily.
much in flux.
This is still so
PMC's
huge.
been charting our path to playoffs, and
Yeah.
we've got to win one of these matches. And if we don't, it's dependent on other people. So like there's still everything to play for in gold right now.
Technically, Tony, we can't fall out of playoffs because there's no way for us to lose both and all 3 of these teams to win both because they're playing each other in here.
True.
So we are in playoffs.
But it is possible to fall down to.
It is
5
possible
seed.
to fall down to the 8 seed even. So, but you don't want to do that. I'd prefer the bye. But yeah, so that is a lot to be watching out for with these guys playing each other. I think that there's only, Over Icy Hot on Railroad 2, Clinic Icy Hot on Lennon. Over gets Slow Loris, and Clinic gets Slow Loris, so Icy Hot really got fucked here. But in that regard, they also hold their own destiny. They hold all the cards here because if they just win both these matches, they got nothing to worry about. Those are the teams that are all chasing each other, so they can beat both, and nothing else matters.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to get into on this match.
Yeah.
Really good match, it looks like.
Yeah, I wish we could have
seen
seen
it. But great win for PMC.
Big time.
A much needed win.
Yeah.
Pretty much puts them in the driver's seat for their destiny.
Exactly, yeah. They've got some breathing room now.
Yeah, so good stuff there, Nine. I'm sure you're happy for that win.
Oh, yeah.
It was a hard fought one, yeah.
Very much so. I wish I could see a full fucking replay of that, like cast-wise, but...
And again, that final score was 155 to 151.
4
TMC
points.
Over. All right, next matchup real quick. Typical Clinic.
Yeah, so this was 250 to 128 typical, but it's not. It's actually 150 to nothing Clinic.
Yeah, so, I do want to talk about the actual match a little bit. Obviously, Clinic didn't have Debo, who was suspended.
Yeah.
So they went with, I'm not even sure who
PB.
Pete Burrow is. PB, is that a ringer?
Yeah,
Yep.
PB Rain.
Okay, so PB Rang. Pretty good ringer to have.
Yeah.
Looks like, though, they ended up rolling with Stark as well. So I don't see Insom. I guess Insom's not back.
Nope.
I think he will be back soon, though, if he's
It's
not
supposed
They
already
were
back.
missing Tom as well.
Yeah,
And Tom was out of town, yeah. So 2 backup and a ringer had to be used. Obviously, not what you want to throw at typical. But, sometimes someone gets randomly just demos pulled and they don't have screenshots.
Yep.
And now it's 150-0 win for the Clinic.
Yeah.
And that really just
that hurts.
killed.
They were first place.
Typical.
They were first
that
place.
That will fuck typical here.
Now they're third place because of that, because of the tiebreakers. So.
And that was going to be a sole first place for them, too.
Yeah. They
So
had
not where you want to end up.
No, they had all the cards in their hands to take that first place all the way to the end, but
from the actual match itself, Nightmare was obviously insane,
of
sniping.
course. He always
Milo
is. We talk
played
about
really
it every day.
well.
And,
Scotty played well despite
Baron.
what happened.
Baron was
came
the
and
real
Baron
standout.
is a beast.
Yeah, Baron
And
was carrying them on Axis
I
and a
felt all
close
along
Axis.
that Baron has been getting the short side on this team. Like I think Baron's a starter.
Oh yeah, and the thing is that they have 8 guys that really. But now if Scotty's suspended, that means that someone else has to be playing regularly, and that's probably Baron's job now.
Yeah, Could be Baron, could be Greets, could be Manor. You just never know what they're
Well,
going to
this
do.
spot here, the Manor spot, has been cycling. Like, you've seen Greets there. That's where Baron's played at times. That's where Manor plays. That's where Die Life plays.
Well, Baron rifled with Scotty in this
Yes,
match.
in this match he did, yeah. Normally they had Greets playing in that rifle spot, but he didn't play this week. But obviously the previous 2 weeks he was top fragging in that spot. But Baron was really the difference maker. I mean, obviously Nightmare out-fragged him, but that was a lot of, like, defensive sniping through the broken door kind of stuff. Baron was the one who was getting, like, the really key kills on the flags, holding, clutching the factory as the only guy there. He came up huge.
Nightmare just dominated both
Yeah.
halves.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to see his Allied Sniper
As
demo, just to
always.
see where these 36 kills came from.
I think
that is impressive.
most of Allied side, I was probably watching him in the cast. So there you go. You can pretty much see all of it just by watching the replay of that fucking cast.
Yeah. PB had a strong Axis half. Suave
He
had a
did.
strong Axis half. Candy
Yeah.
played well on Allies. Yeah, just a little outgunned here for
Yeah.
Clinic without Debo and Tom.
Manor played
And
incredibly well, too. He actually was top fragging for most of this half, and then all of a sudden Nightmare just started getting like 4 kills at a time out of nowhere. So Manor ended up getting outdone in the end by 12 kills, but he was actually top fragging for like the first 15 minutes of this half. He was all over the place with that bar doing work, so good on him. Another great performance out of him when he gets to play. Baron, obviously a little bit weaker half here, but I think he was mostly just kind of holding to make sure there wasn't any crazy...
Yeah, I think they were just playing to keep the win this
Yeah,
half.
which is smart.
They had a strong enough Axis half.
Right? They had
But yeah,
some
that did
breathing
get
room.
overturned, so
Yeah, so
final
in the end
score
it didn't
150
matter.
to
Yeah.
0.
150-0, typical. Take a look at the standings. Now in third place, as the tiebreaker here goes to us for the win on Halley, and the tiebreaker here goes to T3 for the win on Railyard. So it's T3 Thunder typical standing-wise, then PMC Icy Hot over, and then Clinic
And it would
Slow
go to
Lords.
points after that.
Yes, after the head-to-head.
Which would put Thunder in first, just so everyone understands what the hell's happening here.
Correct.
All right, but that's it on that. Let's get into our match of the week in gold.
Oh, yeah.
Which was played last night.
Last night, yep.
Icy Hot versus T3.
And that was another pretty fun one.
The Icy Hot curse continues for match of the week, it would appear. I think that's 3 losses on match of the week. I do
believe so. This one last night, me and Ryan casted it. PDX was out of his mind. He was just shitting everywhere.
PDX has been way better than everyone for obviously forever, but these last 2 weeks he's really stepped it up.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if he just decided he's done being Mr. Nice Guy, but...
well, they did lose last week on Solitude, so...
That probably didn't help. He probably wasn't thrilled about that. But, my God, he's going crazy. Since that match, he has been, I think, dropping 35 kills a half no matter what.
Pretty much, yeah. Bees, really, really well done here on Allied side. Austin ended up top fragging for them that half. Axis side, it looks like it was Vertex and Jesse. I did predict right before the match started when I saw Jesse was stossing that he would have a big half, and he did. Still, they came up 7 points short. It was much like it sounded the over PMC second half was, where it was just like, lock this shit down. Nobody's capping anything. We have to hold. We can't give up any caps. And as you see what that resulted in score-wise, 55-48, it worked.
Yeah, this was Jesse's one of his favorite maps, so he wanted to rifle. He
is great with the Stoss on this map. He was really putting in a lot of work with it, and T3 was basically just turtling and waiting for them, because ICI was going to have to push to try to cap out 3 times to come back from the deficit they had in the first half. So they just kind of turtled.
This was going to be an uphill climb for Icy Hot no matter what, because they just haven't played a lot together as a team, and this map is not one that inspires... I guess, activity in the week.
No, it does not.
You know, like I said, Sick, this was his first time rifling this in a match environment, I believe. Since maybe he rifled in like TPG back in 2008, but
maybe.
You know, he was learning this map's rifle route pretty much from the ground up.
Yeah, and he had to do the dirty work going underpass at times too. I know.
He had to play the rotator, and doing it against T3 is not ideal.
Leo put up, I mean, Allied side, whatever, but on Axis side, he was doing a lot of killing all over the place with the car. It was helping out underpass. Yeah, that was the big one.
That's what he does. Yeah,
he was that support for them, the third guy over there to really lock down underpass at the best possible times too, because you would see a guy in triple windows, usually Matt, and Matt would get a couple kills, and then Leo would sprint peek around the corner and delete him, and then they would have underpass, and that was a full cap very shortly thereafter. So Nick Patton had about 15 pistol kills.
Yeah. Yeah, best pistoler in the game.
Very,
How does he
very
do it?
nuts. I don't get it. I wish my pistol worked fucking 10% as well as his. I would get so many more kills every time I missed shots, because I miss a lot of shots.
Yeah, and it's like you said, T3 had the luxury of having a multi-cap lead going into second half, so didn't have to get crazy on allies.
Exactly. That's really when it gets to that point. I mean, it's always possible, but like a good team is going to just play prevent at that point. And there's only so much you can do. Holding wood as an ally, like the nades can only go so far. You can just get up in the upper wood. You can prone there. Maybe they should have blown out the broken door in bunker. Like that might have been a way to try to get rolling a little bit more towards a cap out. But that's a double-edged sword because then you're getting them out in another sneaky way.
Yeah,
so
I don't think we saw anyone blow the door.
I don't think so. Unless did it happen in the PMC match, Stone?
No.
Okay, yeah, so nobody blew the door out. Nobody blew any of the doors out all week, basically. So that's interesting.
I could be wrong there, but I don't think that happened.
I don't remember. I think there was only once that T3 did it, but it was like in a trolley kind of way, where they were just actually trying to get bazooka kills, but in the process, they also blew one of the doors. They might have blown their own door, not even ours, so... You know, it's just one of those things where I feel like people are never really sure whether they really want to do it or not. I'm not even sure 99% of the time. I'm like, well, if I could blow this and we might get out quicker, but then they might also like flank through it quietly and kill us all in the back. So maybe we shouldn't. I let Tox handle that kind of decision making.
Yeah, it definitely opens up the possibility for ninjas.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Like then you just never know unless you just post somebody up in that spot to make sure that they don't sneak on out the other way, like you're just asking for trouble. So, you know, it's one of those things where it can be hit or miss, but
it's really like if you do it, you better do something with it and cap out.
Yeah.
And reset it.
You better make
it. If it's open, it could bite you in the ass.
It could very quickly.
I'm okay with like maybe trying it one initial and see if it works, but it can be a pain in the ass to just have it open the whole time.
Yeah.
And like it's like that for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and you have to get there to begin with, like safely, with a bazooka. Like
you're right though. It is easier to nade into wood, so it's probably
Yeah.
something that people may try in the future. But
Oh, yeah.
again, this map's not really
relevant
high priority
anymore.
for league play.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of other options. Like it used to be a playoff map, like we said. So
Oh yeah.
it had some juice at one point.
It did. People didn't care for it these days, though. They'd
And that
rather
was back
play.
when you could pull out the MG.
Yeah, and that was what. Yeah, on Allied side underpass, you just sit at the
You just
sandbags.
send the MG, and everyone else goes factory.
And Axis side, you could go sit in puddle.
That 42 in quads, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's so many spots.
rough.
You could go up the triple stack with it and just wall into woodroom.
The entirety of factory is your oyster when you're
Mhm.
using the 42. So
To tell you honestly, I think that is when the best time was to blow your door as an ally, is if they had an MG posted up spamming wood, where you could just knock it out of wood as an ally. That's when you would want to blow the door to get a second avenue of attack, so that he'd have to be looking in two places at once, which isn't possible. That's when the best place to do it was. But when you're only going up against rifles and, lights or whatever, usually the broken door doesn't really need to be blown because you're going to just shoot them eventually. But yeah.
Just to recap, that was T3 over ICL at 225 to 95.
Big W for the champs there, and bumping them up to, well, are they the top spot technically? Yeah. I know that everybody beats everybody. Like, so we beat Typical beat T3, T3 beat us. So I believe it then moves to point differential, which puts us at 1, T3 at 2, Typical at 3, right?
Yep, and that's exactly what we were afraid of, but thankfully that's why we do the tiebreakers, so everything's fine.
And a really sad.
And what do you know? The seedings were correct.
Yeah, I mean it didn't.
And
really
they ended up
change
being
much.
correct the whole time, so that's kind of fun.
Gotta love it. Everybody was worried.
It would have been annoying if. Well, not annoying, but it would have kind of made things a little murkier if
T3 would have lost. Yeah, if T3 would have lost, then there would have been potential for
there would have potentially been a shuffle.
There could have been a fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, when it came to that scheduling situation, like you couldn't wait till the day before everybody was going to basically be starting to play their matches.
Absolutely not. Especially for scheduling purposes.
Yeah.
Like we gotta figure that shit out.
Like it would have been nice if we could wait, but you can't just wait around with one team who is asking you to do so. It just isn't plausible. So, but yeah.
And just to recap, our MVPs last week were Vanaki in silver and Dorito in gold.
Correctamundo,
So
there
congrats
they
to
are.
both those players. Great kills from both of them.
That was 66 on Vanaki, 70 on Dorito, a little bit of a slower allied half after that 44, well, before that 44 on Axis, but 44 on any fucking half of this map is crazy.
Yeah, and I think we're good to put Chemille in the rearview mirror,
We
unless you
are.
guys had any final thoughts on it.
Nothing from me. Just Chemille for playoffs 2022.
Chemille for playoffs.
PMC love Chemille.
All right, and with that, we just want to take a little moment here to thank Nein for coming on, and I did have a few questions for you, Nein, in regards to just some administrative stuff, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, first thing, where do you see KTP going Season 3? Do you think we will be able to increase teams? Is a third division ideal? If we do increase teams, is 2 divisions probably the reality, though? Just what are your thoughts going forward? I guess what I'm trying to ask you.
Well, that's a good question. Anything I say here cannot be held against me in any courts of law.
Oh, of course.
I think that KTP Season 1 was probably a little bit better in terms of length than Season 2.
Right.
I think some people are getting tired of it being the regular season and are ready for playoffs. So, in my opinion, I feel like we could probably break teams into 3 divisions that would be much more definitive of their skill levels. I feel like
with a smaller schedule overall, like a 5-week schedule, maybe
something around 5, 6 instead of getting into 9 and potentially 10 if we have to add a week to silver and then playoffs on top of that. It's
a lot.
It's a lot. Admins were hoping when we set up Season 2 and signups and stuff. We were hoping for at least as big as Season 1, and then we blew it out of the water. But it wasn't quite to the team level. Like, I think if we would have had 1 or 2 more teams at the beginning of the season, we probably could have looked at breaking into 3 brackets. But when you don't know how teams are going to perform, there's so many teams this season that just came out of nowhere. We had no clue where they were going to place. When you look at these teams in silver, like sleepers, I think we kind of predicted them, but Love Me Not, Washed Up, Price is Right, No Go, CIS, like they were all, in my opinion, relatively unknowns in terms of just where they were going to kind of place in silver. And so you don't want to break people into 3 divisions and then figure out in week 3 that you really fucked it up, So it really will depend on if teams stay intact between seasons, how many teams we're looking at. There definitely will be a Season 3. But in terms of format and stuff, that's really all up in the air, and it's based on the community signing up for the season.
Yeah, and I'm mostly just picking your opinions here. I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of the league on any of this. So
okay,
I guess,
good.
just let's go ahead and make that clear right off the bat. Like, this is just Nine's opinion as a member of the community, not necessarily, the word from the head AC or in speaking for KTP.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what about the breaks between seasons? Do you think we need longer? Did you like the last break? I think what did it end up being? Almost 3 months, or was it 2.5, something like that? I can't remember exactly. I feel like playoffs ended in mid-June, if I'm not mistaken, maybe early June, and then we started back up in early September. Is that right?
Something like that.
Something like that. Big break there. Like a 3-month break.
I like having a good break in between the seasons because really when we're in KTP mode, and this has changed a little bit recently, but especially towards the beginning, 12-mans get pretty much non-existent. It's really everybody wants to scrim. And of course, you're playing competitively. You want to do that. And so having an off season where you're doing 12-mans, you fit a draft in there on a Saturday somewhere. I think that's kind of the way to go. You don't want to have back-to-back seasons. People are just going to get tired. So I think having a healthy break of, so say, for instance, we end this season by Thanksgiving or maybe first week of December, we wouldn't want to play again until late January at the earliest.
Oh, really? That's actually
And that's
sooner than I thought.
I'm just saying, like, the absolute earliest, I think you would want like a month off, if not further. So, it's easier, I think, to make a break like over the summer, because over the summer you got all kinds of shit going on. When it's not the summer, the seasons, in my opinion, could probably be a little closer together, but you want a substantial break in between. Because if you did it at the end of January and we end first week of December, that's still 2 months off. All of December, then into January. So it really just depends.
You can maybe even fit 2 seasons in there before summer if you did more of a compressed thing, like you said, with 3 divisions and like 5 weeks, and then or 6 weeks or whatever. Then we go into playoffs. So yeah, that could be interesting, and that may even be a route that needs to be looked at, because I don't, we're kind of getting to a point where we almost need a 3rd division. We've got teams that are too good to be in silver, but not necessarily good enough to be, a top 4 or 5 team in gold.
Sure.
So, and maybe gold could be smaller, because Invite back in the day was, only 8 teams. I know we're at 8 teams right now, but we're dropping 2 for playoffs. So,
well, Invite was 8 teams up until like 2004.
Well, then they
forced
more.
it.
In my opinion,
but
this
in its
season,
prime, it was 8 teams. Is what I'm trying to say.
In my opinion, this season, I think you have 3 teams that are clearly at the top of gold, and then you have the remaining 5 teams that are scrambling for, that 4th place spot. In my opinion,
but we did lose to one of those teams.
Well,
I mean, that's why you play.
You got to prepare. You got to every game. You got to play it.
When you don't have your robot in the match, that's going to hurt you.
Always.
So play with your robots.
Play with your robots.
My advice. But okay, so, and just to keep going down that line of thought, from an AC standpoint, how do you feel about the process thus far?
The process in what regard? Sorry.
Of just like how disputes are handled, how the random pools have come into play now. Do you think that's something we need to be building off of, or do you think this is kind of like, I guess what I'm trying to say, are there going to be random pools every week? Is that something you can tell us?
So when I kind of came on to the AC team, or to the KTP team and then the AC team, there really wasn't a structure in place for how to do any of it. It was just kind of inherited knowledge from people that have been TPG or Cal admins in the past.
Yeah.
And so we kind of had to set up the system and like how that works. So that was kind of the first couple weeks. So a lot of people said AC didn't really do anything for season. Well, we were doing a lot of things behind the scenes to get things set up for future seasons. But I think introducing random pools this season, we started a little later than we wanted to, because I think we hit in like week 3 or 4. I definitely think that is the way to go, just in terms of making sure, like I said, my goal is AC is not, I don't want to suspend or ban anybody. I just want to make sure everybody's playing fair. So just randomly, the community knowing that these random drafts are coming, it's gonna promote compliance on the community's part in terms of taking their demos, taking their screenshots, doing what they're supposed to do, in my opinion.
Right.
Would you like to see a world where everyone has to upload screenshots and demos after the match? It all gets sent to KTP, Google Drive, or whatever, and then you can check that way? Is that something we maybe should look into? Because at this point, I'm at the point where I want everyone to upload everything after every match, and then AC can just deal with it how they want to deal with it that way. And if you get disputed, then you already got it right there. If you want to just randomly pull someone, you've got it right there, and then it's just on the player, And then that gets everyone kind of in a comfort zone of doing that every week, and I think that would help in the long run. Now, I don't know the logistics behind that, because that sounds like it might be a nightmare, but I don't know. What do you think of that?
Definitely a nightmare.
Is that something you think could work?
Potentially. So the issues there you would run into is people zipping up all other stuff, dumping it into everything. What happens if player X on team Y didn't dump this week? Are they ineligible to play? Like, so it could be a lot of chasing down stuff. We're also looking at AC clients. Something that would be an automated process, essentially doing what you're talking about, but in more of a hands-off way for people. They would just have to run through this client. So we're looking at a lot of solutions for next season.
And that'll be a standalone client that's running alongside DOD, I assume.
Correct. Yeah, it wouldn't have anything to do with the current CVAR checker. This would be something that is going to assess game state, potentially take random screenshots during the course of play, and watch the DLLs to make sure nothing's getting injected. But like I said, we looked at a couple of solutions, nothing set in stone with that. Probably, that would be like just like we did the CVAR checker when I wrote that and got assistance with that. We rolled it out, and like we just gradually rolled it out onto more and more servers during 12 mans to start getting data, making sure it wasn't going to crash the servers, making sure people weren't going to crash. And then once we knew that, we had hit enough of a sample of the community that it hadn't caused problems, that's when we rolled it out across the board for season 2. I assume that an AC would be done under an approach like that, start rolling it out into 12 mans during the off season, gradually pick up speed, and then by season 3, if we have one selected by then, that would be where we'd roll it out.
That sounds good. And I hope people would be open to that idea, because right now
They're cheating.
You're just in the dark. I wouldn't say you're in the dark, but your tools are limited when it comes to AC and DoD 1.3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's all about promoting fair play, and the PCs of today are not the PCs of the early 2000s, so they're able to handle a lot more. But at the same time, this is an older game. We don't want to interfere with people's ability to play the game. Like, that's why I spent so much time in the CVAR checker to like really make sure it wasn't going to cause people lag. You don't want to have to blame anti-cheat or the CVAR checker or whatever for why you didn't hit a shot. You're just shooting at lay or PDX instead.
yeah, and it's just got to remember that, like you said, we're trying to make an even playing field for everyone, and right now it doesn't feel that way at times. So
I heard it's conspiracy. All of
not
us.
to the well, it's always a conspiracy, but not to the point where I think it's like detrimental to the game. But I do think, like you said, improvements could be made. So that's awesome to know. I didn't know that was in the works. So really cool. Excited to see what goes on there. That's really all I had for you as far as grilling you on AC. So if there's anything else you want to mention, like applying to AC, I don't know if applications are like concurrently open or something like that, but if anyone was interested in joining, what would that process look like?
So we kind of pick and choose. We try to keep it as even as possible between the divisions. So like, say for example, in season 3, there were 3 divisions. We would try to get AC from each one of those divisions. But it's really like, if you're interested, you could certainly hit up myself and let me know. But it's really more of like a selection process from our end out to the community. But we will absolutely, if you're interested in diving into this shit, please reach out to me. I will take all the help I can get.
Put your name on the short list.
Yeah.
Because it's between AC and admin, it's all just, it's thankless. So just the more hands that we can get on there, the less late nights that we have.
It's just a time vortex at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But I guess you could say that about DoD as a whole.
In general, yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you giving us some insight on that. Cory, do you have anything for him?
No, I see it all behind the scenes, so I know.
And yeah, like I said, I think you've done a great job. I think the CVAR checker has been a huge improvement to the gameplay. Shout out to Bud as well. I know he was kind of the foundation of that, and you just added on to it. So, you'll still be adding stuff to that, right? Like, we're still kind of finding out commands that we think should be checked on there as we go, right? Like, I mean, you could eventually even put like particle effects on there to check for that, if you wanted to. So the CVAR checker is kind of the gift that keeps on giving in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. It can continue to be modified if anything new is found out. Kind of the beauty of us playing this 20-plus-year-old game, or whatever, is a lot of the stuff that has been found out has already been found out.
Right.
So I was able to have like a wealth of knowledge as opposed to a new game where you're having to learn as on the fly, so to speak. There's a lot of gold source kind of volumes of knowledge out there that could already be applied. But yeah, absolutely, it can be updated whenever needed.
I think we should add an FPS cap to in-game. Seeing some high FPS gameplay I don't like.
I don't like it.
That's all I'm going to say about that. Again, thank you, Nein, for that. We really appreciate the insight there. I know the community does too. Just kind of goes to show that AC is working their ass off and trying to make the community better. Like, they're not out to get anyone. They're just out to make sure we're all following the same rules. That's really all it is. All right, let's get into our previews. I know that went way longer than I ever imagined it, but Straight into silver, we got the new Lennon. Thanks, Lurf. Gave us a new Lennon update. Looks fucking great. Love the textures. Love the routes. The timings seem good. There might be a few spots you get stuck on. You'll want to watch out for that. I don't think we're going to be getting any update on this map anytime soon. So
unless you can locate Lurf, in which case maybe.
I do think on the new Lennon, I think there may be like a singular spawn on the ally side, or it could just be PDX things. But I have been hit with some nades in Blue Room that will knock your socks off initial.
You gotta be careful trying to get through blue off initial.
Yeah. So do you just want to not go into apps? Because if they get the God spawn, like it,
apparently
it's rough.
There's definitely some, like, even though it's supposed to be just a straight port over, it does seem like there are some different timings that people are gonna have to take their time to figure out here, especially for the allied side of things. So
yeah, minute stuff, but yeah. So might need to delete one of those spawns after the feedback from this week. We'll see.
Fucking
I'm not
deleted.
sure. I've seen. I've had that God spawn on allies, and I've almost had someone. I won't say beat me, but they got out there pretty quick from blue, even though I naded it.
You clearly didn't sprint as well as PDX.
I swear I got out. Well, I didn't sprint as well as PX. You're 100% accurate there, but yeah, you might be onto something there. I do like the spawns right now. I think Well is going to be just a barn burner throwdown on this map. Like, I think we're going to be seeing people sending 3 Axis there, people sending 3 allies there.
Not a bad
idea. I think
idea.
Long's probably going to get a little neglected, but what else is new?
Of course.
But anyways, let's just get right into it. First matchup, Washed Up versus Sleepers.
All right, so that's going to be a fun one right there. Those are obviously two of the big boy teams. Sleepers, we have seen them play this, well, not this exact version, but this map in the playoffs even, and coming up with a big W over No-Go there. Well, not in the playoffs, but that was in the regular season. They are good at this map. Burn, when he was lighting long, was just so ridiculous at it. He was doing some shit that this blew my mind. Chi was great in apartments. Vanna Key is great as well. And then their role player, well, Matt's not a role player. He's like kind of their main fragging heavy. And I know I've seen him do really well in apartments on Lennon as well. So they look poised to be good to go. However, on Washed Up side of things, you got a bullet fodder who can kind of neutralize those apartments with that passive play style. Of course, you got Defrag, who's been doing an excellent job on rifle routes, going well, I assume, at least. And then secretly, I'm guessing maybe going long. Which is him and Arachnid. That's as formidable a long team as you're going to see.
Yeah, it'll
anywhere.
be him or Bromley for sure.
Yeah, so whoever they send along with Arachnid, like Arachnid's going to be doing serious work. Burn's going to have his hands full with that. That's going to be a very fun sniper matchup to watch. I definitely want to cast this. But, man, it's such a tough one to call.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking Sleepers is going to have the edge because Arachnid's not going to have... This isn't a map where I think he can just take over.
No, yeah. Definitely not.
And like you said, Burn may not snipe. He may just go full light on this map.
Not a bad idea.
Best map. So, and if he does snipe, he's probably got enough to keep Arachnid in check to where he's not just destroying them from, like, access loft into apartments.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Sleepers.
Okay.
I'm probably going to regret it, but I think I'm going to take Sleepers in a tight match, probably by less than a cap. I'll say 30 points.
Okay. Nine, what do you think about this one? This is a pretty big matchup in silver, too.
It's actually probably our match of the week.
Honestly.
I think it's going to be huge. This is 1 versus 3 right now in the silver standings playing each other on a map that can, Lennon can get really out of hand really quick depending on how pressed you can get into blue. I think I agree with you. I think it's going to come down to the sniper matchup on long. I think if Arachnid can get set up on Axis side and cut off those bars from making waves in middle and out double window, I think that's Washed Up's ticket to win. But I do think that that Sleepers has the edge here, and I agree with Tony. I think this is less than a cap, probably 25 points Sleepers.
Yeah.
I did just remember Vanoki is suspended for this. So
yeah.
That might actually switch me back to Washed Up.
That's actually a pretty huge loss. He's been their top fragging,
and he's been a
big
monster.
boy rifle. Yeah. And LZL's been great all season. Zap's been great, but Vanoki has been like their go-to, toxinator rifle. So
That
Ooh.
scares me. That's a big player down, and maybe Barinia shows up for this
Yeah,
instead,
I think
which would be
that's the best
interesting.
replacement to throw in there for him, honestly.
I'm gonna
Damn.
flip flop. I'm gonna
You're
go washed up.
flip-flopping.
I'm
Okay,
flip
Uh-oh.
flopping.
yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
Chi is going to have a connection.
He's gonna have my head
He's
on a
really
fucking
coming for you,
spike.
bro. I'm
I'm
sticking with
sorry, Chi.
sleepers. I'm
Stick
sticking
with
with sleepers
sleepers.
because Lennon is such so you got the old school, really old school DoD, and you got the new schools. Lennon is a map that very much veers towards the newer school players. You can't really like the style of play that comes with the 20 years of experience in this game playing at the top levels does not bode well for Lennon. Of course, Washed Up does have two newer players in Arachnid and Secretly that are two of their big guns. But I think that Sleepers like very unpredictable play style and aggression and how just they work as a team. Washed Up works very well as a team too, but I think that Sleepers, the way that I've seen them play this map, the way they put the screws to no-go last season, they were able to overcome William just going off on them. So it's not like they just blew them out of the water while nobody was performing. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Sleepers too, but also I'm gonna go with like 32 points.
I
Yeah, I'm
think the
sticking sleepers 25. I think it's going to be really, really close though.
Yeah,
sleepers' path to victory here lies in their heavies.
for
in my
sure.
Yeah.
opinion.
They have to run
Uh,
over those apartments.
It's definitely a sleepers map. I think we
Yeah.
can all say that comfortably. So if Bullet and Wolverthink can slow them down and kind of just get control of apartments, that'll probably take the edge away of what they're going to be running into with Burn at long.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And yeah, again, no Van Key is just too much
That
firepower for me
is
to
rough.
really endorse sleepers here. So I love you, Chi. I'm sorry, but I'm taking Washed Up.
The battle of Tony and Chi
And
continues.
I will call this the match of the week too. I should.
This is definitely the match.
I
of the
did
week.
not realize this was the match of the
Yeah.
week when I started here, so that's on me.
I was
It's
curious.
on Tony C.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, we got two people taking sleepers. I'm with Washed Up. Good luck, have fun, both those teams. Please let us know when that's going
Please.
down.
That's gonna be
That's definitely one
tight.
that's going to need to be casted.
And like that is the kind of thing where it's going to be so close that one like really big performance from either side could be what swings it in their direction. So if anybody's ready to have their like big breakout week, this would be the week to do it when it's all on the line at the top of the standings.
An 8K in blue room for a cap
Yeah.
out is what decides this match either way, in my
Ooh.
opinion. Some kind of just really big play.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody gets pushed up behind enemy lines. They're not expecting a guy right there at the one, and then he just bar sprays down 5 guys, drops a dead nade on them. They respawn right into it. That's the kind of shit that you'll see win this match in the end. It could even be bullet fodder getting sneaky.
Yeah, you can ninja this map.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
He could get up behind a first and just let him get by, put 3 down, and that's cap out.
Yep, and Bullet will be able to execute that unlike any other. And I can see him very definitely having a game plan specifically for these guys. I can see Sleepers having a game plan specifically for Washed Up too. So I'm going to be curious to see just how the in-game minds of those two teams go at it here. I think it's just going to be such a good match. Should be a PMC over style match.
But that was Sleepers versus Washed Up. Let's keep trucking here. No Go versus Love Me Not. This would have been an interesting matchup.
It's a little up
don't
in the
know-
air.
Don't know what's going on. It sounds, last time I heard, Let Me Not was refusing to play default without ridiculous ringers, so I'm not sure that's happening.
So just proceeding as if it is going to happen, and they're going to play with 6 guys from the roster, say like Colin, Devin, Low Carb, Tyson, Coffee, and I don't know. I mean, I know that Scott can't
That's that
play.
last spot. Is no one knows.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a ringer.
Nicholson maybe, or one of these Euro guys, but like Colin, Devin, Low Carb, Coffee, Tyson, those guys all are good players. Obviously Colin and Devin and Low Carb have been dropping bombs like crazy. They'll definitely miss Hambuga, but then for no-go, you said they might not have Spoon this week?
I don't think they'll have him this week. So
Okay, and Yanni?
Yanni's gone, so it's
Okay.
gonna be, I don't even know. Like
That's tough.
Apple, Louis will definitely be there. Matt, Dedro, Sapphire, and then that last spot. who
Up
knows?
in the air, yeah.
Could be Koi.
Ooh, Koi with the return.
Yeah, I don't know. No-Go's kind of in a weird spot right now with their roster. They have, like I said, 2 people gone that have been starters all season. So, and usually No-Go's down to, play at a different time. This just happened to be the 1 week where they can't, and they're just running into full-on terrorism on the other end. So I don't know.
They should bring back Lurf for this week. It's his map.
Lurf is
Just one could track him down.
Yeah.
hard to get a hold of.
He
I mean, they would have
is.
loved Fincher to play some, but that's just not really in the cards. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not sure what's going to go on here. I think
Yeah.
they have a 6 lined up. Joel Edmonds is always out there if
Yeah.
need be.
Yeah.
Haven't seen much of Blue. Kin's been around a little bit, so he could always hop in there. Not a big deal.
Right. I mean, it sucks missing Yanni and Spoon. No-Go still, obviously, very experienced team. The firepower on Love Me, Love Me Not side is something to marvel at for sure, and the way that they can spread it out across 3 routes, really. Assuming the match gets played, I'd go with Love Me, Love Me Not, but it sounds like it's a fucking coin flip at this point, so...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they play, I think Love Me Not's the favorite, but yeah, I just don't know if it's going to happen with all the man feelings going around. So
especially with no
just...
Spoon in apartments like that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a big loss.
They knew this was going to be some rough time without Spoon, including NJN.
And Yanni, like another one of their big
we
guns.
thought we were prepared for this with Lurf, but and Fincher, but Fincher's just, I think Fincher's like a oil tycoon millionaire, billionaire or something. He's like always traveling to like these crazy places and post. I wish this guy has an awesome life. I don't know what he's doing. He was in Italy, then he was in France, and then he was going somewhere else.
Can't play. I'm in Fiji this week.
Yeah, he's like, no, I can't play. I'm in Venice, and he posted a picture of him just like having a sick lunch on Venice.
Must be nice, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So wherever you're at, Fincher, hope you're having fun. Yeah, that's really all I want to get into on that one. If I knew more, I'd go further into detail, but right now it just sounds like it's not happening.
It's still up in the air. Yeah. Nein, what do you think?
I think if it gets played, I was originally going to go with No-Go because of all of the commotion over at Love Me Not, but now I'm learning that No-Go is also going to be down some players. So I think if you got turmoil on both teams, I have to go Love Me Not just purely based on firepower.
Yeah, Colin and Devin, it's tough to top. If
they could fill a server, they would probably be fine.
Right.
I just don't know if it's happening. So
they gotta. I mean, at this point, if I'm Love Me Not, I'm just messaging like these guys here, Rayjan and SnowRun and Not and LMS and Lil Mo, and I'm saying like any of you that want to just come join the server, you don't even have to play, just sit and spawn, whatever, or you play 5-on-6. To be honest, like
one of those is flex, so you never know.
Yeah,
which one
it very well could be. So But at this point, it's like you just take the chance. You get this game in because it's a chance to really solidify yourself at the top of the standings. No-Go is missing a couple of their best players. Like you gotta find a way to play if you're Love Me Not. But it doesn't sound like that's very likely to happen. But I guess we'll have to stay posted on that.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as I've heard, Price is Right has tried to schedule with them to no regard. Getting no answer back, getting stonewalled.
Oh, for Rail Yard, yeah.
And I think they even scheduled one of their matches at the same time No-Go has scheduled with them at default. So Let Me Not has 3 matches scheduled in 2 hours Sunday evening. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
I don't think it can really, but you never know.
It's unless they pull 12 players out of their ass.
I guess technically 3 matches in 2 hours, that's 40 minutes a match. If you literally got in the server and you could instantly have all the screenshots taken and go live, you could get it done in 2 hours.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
Bedtime Now versus Fast Lures. That's the next one up.
And that will be... there's been a little drama on that one, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, the scheduling. So is this even getting played?
I don't know. That's the thing with Silver right now is we don't know what the schedules are. I don't think it's due to lack of trying.
No, it seems to be everybody.
It's just, we added another... early time team, which to be fair, the team they took the place of was an early. No, they weren't.
They were Brazilian, yeah.
So it is a little, we weren't expected to play this team early, but I just think Bedtime Now is also having roster issues. I don't think Fast Loris is having any issues. They've just been trying to figure it out. I think the ringer options Bedtime Now presented might have been a little rich, if you will.
Right. I did see a lot of conversation going on in the Discord about No Name as a ringer, which is definitely insane for a silver team.
I wouldn't let No Name ring.
I would,
in a gold.
I wouldn't let No Name.
That's
ring
how petty I am.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine.
Unless it was for PDX, then okay.
I still would pass. personally.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a really. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's unreasonable to ask
Yeah,
for
I
no
mean,
name
he
from
is
him.
just too good.
The guy's leading the gold in frags by like 60 right now. Like, that's nuts. He could go in there, and as long as he has 5 other players and bodies to fill in around him, he can win a match by himself against a lot of the teams in silver. Like, that's just crazy to me.
Assuming this happens and everything, is how it should be. It should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious to see how this plays out. I mean, obviously with Fast Lore, stealth, great on this map. Great.
Mm-hmm.
He is traditionally good on this
Yeah.
map, so I'm sure he's excited to play some new Lennon.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen Red Dog have good games on Lennon as well. Laura, I've seen have really good games going well on Lennon.
Yeah,
Twist.
I think she's a well player, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure who will go along with stealth.
Maybe someone like Lynx if he's playing, or, Hey Hi. If he's
I
not
think
heavy.
Hei's back, and he has been rifling as we found out week 6, so it's good to know late. But yeah, it probably will be Hey Hi now that I think about it. Oh, he might be carring well. So
And Stamp maybe as the third, but you might see him go
he's
along.
suspended, I believe. So
Oh, yeah, so it's definitely not Stamp then.
no
Okay.
Stamper this week.
So yeah, probably someone like Lynx will have to get in this time, or if
So
Alapex
the
can play.
interesting thing there is this is one of 2 matches that Fast Lores has this week because of the rescheduled buys. Sometimes you have more than one.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you didn't have a makeup. So Fast Lores has also played Moose Knuckles. So just depending on which match occurs first,
They might,
that
yeah.
would be Stamp could be
That's
in the mix
true.
for this.
Oh, that's a good point there. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So hypothetically, yeah, it could be Stamp that's going long here if that match got played second. Maybe they should. If I'm them, I would try to have that match played second, honestly, just so you can have more players to choose from for that lineup there with a little bit of an unknown quantity. In this team, you don't know what to really expect from them. They've got some people that 12 man, and you can see him putting up some frag totals against other good players. So you don't know exactly what to expect coming in a match situation, but yeah, if I was them, I'd definitely try to get this match second. But it sounds like scheduling wise, they don't really have a choice. Like the matches, you got to play at 3 in the afternoon against that team, so maybe it's not even possible to do that.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think it's going to matter. Those 2 matchups, they can get away with whatever here.
Yeah.
I'm liking Fast Loris against both those teams.
Yeah, me too.
I see Stealth going crazy. I think Alopex, if he plays, he's been playing pretty well.
Right.
Twist will probably be heavy in with Red Dogs,
Yep.
so keep an eye on them in apartments.
They've been looking good, and I think
bedtime now. We just don't know what we're going to see. I'm sure Chu will be out there, probably Luca, but I imagine they're going to have some ringers. So
yeah, they just had 3 ringers today for their first match.
kind of hard to predict what they're going to look like. So
Mhm.
just the inconsistency alone is enough for me to take Fast Loris there.
Right. I mean, if they get their best 6 out of this, they've got some good ones in here. Like Sean and Chewy. Johnny V at least knows how to play the game, and when he's having a good game, I think he can be a good difference maker on the heavy with a lot of experience. Hoolies, but you just don't know because they only had 3 players today for their first match.
Yeah.
So
That was unfortunate.
and
but
Fast
keep an eye on
Loris, I will say the other matchup for them is Moose Knuckle. They played Moose Knuckle in week 1, and they won by about 300, and Stealth had 95 kills on Harrington. So,
And what map will that be on?
that is also on Lennon.
So they're double dipping Lennon.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that kind of says it all. Prediction-wise, it's a similar map for the style of play to be successful. I think Stealth can go off all day on Lennon. I've seen him do it all over the place. And I just think Fast Loris can pick up 2 wins this week against Bedtime Now. I mean, unless Bedtime Now can actually get 6 together. Maybe snag a good ringer that's reasonable from Silver, because there was a lot of those. They just had Secretly and Bullet Fodder today and Chi. Those are the kind of players that make sense to get for ringers. And though that could be a good difference maker, you never know. Wild card, but yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Fast Loris to take both of those and jump themselves up a bit in the standings here.
So yeah, I'm with you there on that. I think Fast Loris will get 2 victories here on Lennon. It's kind of awesome they get to play Lennon back to back.
I know, yeah. Good for Stealth
I think
there.
Stealth goes huge.
Right?
In both matches.
This is him going for another 90 bomb. This is his time. Get pushed into upper wraps to the Jaggin spot and just lay it down with the Axis sniper rifle. Make sure you got a bar and an STG right there so you can get a kill with the sniper, drop it, pick up the bar, get a kill with the bar, drop it, pick up the STG, get a kill with the STG, drop it, no scope, pistol headshot. Then there's one left, you just cap out. Very simple.
Very simple.
So yeah, that's Vast Loris. They're saying over both Moose Knuckle and Bedtime Now. It sounds unanimous as well. So
yeah, let's keep trucking here. This last matchup, which is Price is Right versus CIS.
yeah, and
probably
this,
our most lopsided matchup of
yeah.
the week here.
Now, it could be surprising because CIS is looking better and better, and their big guns seem to even be improving. Like, they didn't hit their peak yet. Hong Kong Mafia, though, sniping on Lennon, not always somewhere that you're going to put up a lot of frags, but you can lock down a couple spots. Riley
I think
Stafford.
they're going to... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I just think they're going to be playing a back-to-back here as well, if I'm not mistaken, reading what Caleb sent me.
Oh,
Looks like they got a 2 and 3 p.m. match scheduled. I think this is the later one.
so who's the other one again?
Actually, maybe they're also playing Bedtime Now.
Bedtime Now. Okay.
The one we talked about earlier that hasn't been played.
Yeah, okay.
I think that is on
Chemille.
Chemille, yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, for CIS, this is a chance to like make a point. If they can hang with Prices Right, that would be a pretty big message to the rest of the division. Like, hey, we're fucking here and we're ready to fuck shit up. It's going to be tough on Lennon. Lennon is a map that is very, very favorable for Prices Right. There's a lot of players on that team that are good on it. Allen and Taylor in Apartments, for one.
I will tell you right now, Taylor's not playing.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes things slightly different, but still not that different.
I do have the roster for Price is Right, both matches. It'll be Caleb, Recoil, Toki, Allen, Cory, and Dilliard.
Okay.
So no Taylor. I'm guessing Caleb will heavy with Allen.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'd say so.
He heavied on Solitude.
Cory was in there, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I think Cory, Dillard are your rifles.
Yeah, and that's a strong
Recoil,
rifle
Snipe,
team.
Toki third.
Yep. And that's a solid long team too, because then you can cycle that sniper. Toki is a natural sniper. He'll be picking that gun up and doing work with it.
Recoil does hate this map, so I wouldn't be surprised if Toki's sniping.
Yeah, Recoil is very miserable about this map, to be honest.
Recoil is on record as hating this map sniping, so I would not be surprised if Toki's sniping and Recoil's rifling.
Right, you might just see that little swap going. I can't believe these balls still aren't here yet, man. I've
been waiting for you to leave.
I've been sitting here refreshing on my iPad over and over.
What if it's at like your neighbor's house right now?
Oh, I'll
freak,
what the hell's this? Dude. I'll flip. But
What's interesting about this matchup is this is actually the second of a doubleheader for both teams. Price is Right has Bedtime Now and Chemille, and then I just lost it. CIS plays Fast Loris on Alley, and then they have this match. So both teams should be very warmed up.
For sure.
I think Cory Price has a huge game against CIS. I speak very ignorantly of Source because I didn't really play it much, but I don't think they have a Lennon, and I think that Price is Right is going to show them how to play Lennon.
They did have a Lennon, but it was quite different.
Very different, yeah. But still, I mean, this is, to me, it's just, like you said, it's going to realistically be as big a point spread as we're going to see this week because of the nature of Lennon. Like, teams can just run it up so hard. And, I mean, Riley Stafford, I'm sure, will drop bombs. And if Hong Kong Mafia plays, Deutschland, Azil, these guys are all good players, but it's going to be a little bit overwhelming, I think, at times for them, especially on their Axis side. When you just got like 6 people coming at you with fucking nades flying all over your face. But I could be wrong. Maybe they're scrimming this shit right now. Maybe they've already figured it out, but I don't think that that's going to be enough to win. To me, if I'm CIS, I just want to keep this like within, 150 points just to be like, we didn't get absolutely fucked by these guys. Like, these are supposed to be the best team, and we kept it close. So be on notice, the rest of you, because we're coming for y'all asses.
Yeah, Riley's going crazy in Apartments. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Riley will be doing his...
He's really good.
He's so good. It's nuts. And has been since day one. Like, we scrimmed them that first time, and he right off the bat, it was like, who is this guy? This guy's shitting on me. And he hasn't stopped shitting since then, which is a problem I wish I had.
Hong Kong Mafia is a great sniper.
Great sniper. He's been splitting time with Shika, though, right?
That's true, yeah.
So you don't know who will be in.
Back and forth. You just never know what you're going to get out of them. Azilla has been playing his ass off all season.
Yep. Fyro's been looking good as well.
Yep, I like Fyro.
PKL on Solitude looked really good.
So CIS is definitely doing what we thought they would do, and that's get better as the season goes along.
Yep. Every time they play, they're figuring it out more and more. Those Cory Price guide videos are helping them out with nades and hold spots and stuff, and it's really showing they've put the work in.
I'm also with you guys though. I'm taking Price is Right here. Multiple
Yeah.
caps.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
gonna be a
say
big blowout.
like I mean it could be as much as like 350, but I'm gonna hope for the first CIS here that they're gonna be able to keep it to like 130.
And Price is Right does have another match with Let Me Not scheduled. Unfortunately, same situation there, so we're not going to get too into that.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's just going to round out silver.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
I'm missing something. I don't
No.
think I am.
No, that was it.
And real quick, looking at the standings, I know we've been talking about them a lot, but you got Sleepers 6-1 in first, Let Me Not 5-1 with nothing but questions around them.
Yeah.
Washed Up looking in a great spot 5-2 with not the easiest schedule left, but
No.
definitely they could easily win out in my opinion. Huge matchup this week, obviously against Sleepers. Price is
Yeah.
Right, 4-1 in a good spot as well. Looks like they potentially going to be getting some forfeit wins too.
Yeah.
So no go outside looking in, but feeling pretty good. I think if they can finish strong here.
And if they got a forfeit win this week, that's obviously big as
Well, they'll be
well.
getting two. is the thing.
Hypothetically, yeah. So from 6-3, and that would put them at 5-3. That would be like a huge swing.
There is a little scenario rolling around, assuming that Let Me Not does have to forfeit, and if they have to forfeit the rest of these matches, and I think they have 3 against the top 5 left, so that would drop them to 5th.
Oh wow.
That would put Price is Right in first,
Yeah.
Sleeper second, No Go in third with the tiebreaker over Washed Up, and Washed Up fourth.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
that's where we're heading if these matches don't get played, just so everyone knows. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I would love for them to play the matches if they can be reasonable and use ringers that aren't just out of this world, but so far that doesn't seem to be the case. But hopefully they grow up and we get these matches played.
We will stay tuned to that.
Yeah, and that's it for silver. Big week ahead. A lot on the line. Let's get into gold though.
Another big week ahead here as well.
Another big week ahead for gold. I want to start with PMC Thunder.
Yeah. Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun. We can't.
You
all we're
son of
gonna
a
say.
bitch.
On Lennon. I'm trying to think. Have we scrimmed much Lennon? I know we have, but I just most
Not
of it was
recently,
last season.
but
Yeah.
last season I think. Yeah.
I feel like Tony, you're pretty good at this map. I feel like this is one of your better maps.
I think this is one of Tony's best maps.
I can hopefully do better than that 9 bomb I dropped against Over on Axis side. We'll see.
Hey, we're Tony Nine brothers.
I know.
I had a 9er myself.
That's
Dude,
right.
Sometimes in Underpass, things just don't go your way.
No. And when that's happening,
I got some bad news and some worse news for you.
What?
Whoa.
The bad news is I'm not playing. The worst news is Ryan Emo is.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that.
You got Ryan Emo coming at you. Enjoy.
Pretty sure he's not on the roster. I'll take a look here and double check these team IDs.
Right.
Now, if you Venmo me a certain amount, I can fix this for you, and then you will be playing against me. But let's just leave it at that. No. Yeah, Ryan's getting in there. I'm gonna bench myself. We're gonna go with that, and we're gonna see what he's got.
Yeah.
It's been his best map in my opinion throughout his career. He's had insane streaks on this map. And yeah, we're just trying to get him back in there and get him ready for next season mostly. He'll probably be playing some playoffs too.
Yeah, just got to get the reps here.
Enjoy that in apartments. Obviously, you'll have Big Jules in there with him.
Sure. Just Jules and Ryan Emo. No big deal.
Yeah, and then you got Tox, Dorito on the other side, Jag and J-Rod on the other side. So you're just flanked by just the biggest fraggers you've ever seen. I will say Paul Kuhn usually plays this map pretty well, so
I have a feeling that we're not going to have long at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Paul's really annoying at holding apartments and from the long window, pretty much to the point where I just stopped going upper apartments, so that's always annoying.
It'll probably be Element over there with them. I don't see me and J-Rod winning over Paul and Element on this map at all. Me and J-Rod are just complaining to each other every time we play about how much we hate it.
This is the first time Cory and J-Rod have gone long in a match setting, so
and
could be fireworks.
We're united in our hatred for the route and the map in general, so we're having fun while we're getting raped.
We'll see.
I definitely want to see CK's better maps.
Yeah, and
CK
PB
loves to play well.
PB is very good on this map too.
I think PB's a better heavy on this map than he is a rifle.
Might
Hot
be.
take. Super hot take.
I mean, that's just a weird, like, I think that my best class on this map is heavying. I don't particularly love doing anything else on it. This is going to be one of the first time, probably since like 2006, that I've had to not heavy on Lennon. It's been a while.
I guess
we
it's
need to reach out to Jules, and we need to agree to a no prone heavies pact.
That would be sweet. I wouldn't mind to see that.
I don't know if he can sign that on principle. I know Ryan can't sign it.
He can't sign it. No, he will be prone sometime.
Let's just pretend. We'll say we do it, and then after the first one pros, we just all move on. So I guess for me, my question is PMC going to throw out their big six? Or are they going to have backups plan?
I am very much hoping that we'll have our six, but Paul Kuhn is on call with his work this week. So
that sucks.
So that's always
if things go according to how the season has gone for us, he'll be called in about 5 minutes before our match, and we'll have to pull in a backup. But
That's right. That would figure, of course.
A la Railroad 1. Yeah. So
that was so unfortunate.
Yeah, that sucked. And I know. Yeah, we hope you guys get your best six out there.
Absolutely.
It's definitely not Thunder's favorite map, so you got a shot. If you need any other insider information, hit me up. I got you covered.
I will Venmo you all of the cash.
I've never been rooting for PMC more in my life.
Tony the Snake Captain.
We're PMC's in a situation, not being in that top three, where we need to win in one of the next two, or that opens up scenarios where people that are currently not going to make playoffs could knock us off.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Not where you want to be.
It doesn't get any cleaner looking at T3 on Railroad 2 next week either. So
yeah, you got the nice shit sandwich here from that 4 seed, which is kind of what I was saying. Like that 4 seed was not where you wanted to be.
No.
But
no,
you should have thrown on Chemille, is what he's trying to say.
I can't. We
can't. I was going to say throw Chemille.
Our over dominance. We have to continue to beat over on Chemille.
I don't want over to wake up, because if over starts being like they were last season, then who even knows what happens with these rankings.
I'm okay with over missing the playoffs, so we don't have to play them later when they have Caffrey back and everybody's playing all the time, because they're a scary team when they have everything going.
I would just auto dispute talks and say it was
random. He'll never know.
Because he's not taking screenshots. I tell you right now.
It's game over for that guy.
Uh-oh.
But for real, good luck. Have fun to both teams.
GLHF.
Should be fun. Next matchup, Clinic versus Icy Hot.
That's another pretty big one, too.
Almost match of the week, but I'm going to spare Icy Hot.
Yeah, don't do that to them again.
I'm gonna just give them their one here and not call it the match of the week, even though it very well could be, just because so much is on the line for both teams, which is the story of Icy Hot's season.
It is. Look at their point differential and then look at their record. Like that's.
It's tough. Like the second they get some breathing room, they just have another huge matchup that they barely lose, and then they bounce back, and then they have another huge matchup that they lose, and then so this is the bounce back week I'm feeling.
It is. It is.
So yeah, right off the bat. This is Six's favorite map. I think Casey loves this map. Their heavies on Icy Hot love this map. Modgers loves this map, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm sure Bees does too. All heavies do.
Yeah. I don't know if Kingo will keep rifling. I assume he'll switch back to heavy, and Bees will go back to rifle.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, they were.
So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bees heavies, because he's always heavied this map well too. And, and I don't know if I like sending Mitchell long. I feel like that's
that kind of feels like a waste to me.
But he could end up just like stossing well, and they send a car long. Like I don't know what Icy Hot's gonna do.
There's a lot of potential.
I know Sick will play well. He's a well or bust guy.
And Austin is another one, kind of like Stealth, who's historically been able to do really well sniping on a map that otherwise is just so pointless to snipe on at the time. So.
Austin is a very good sniper on Lennon.
Yeah.
He's always been good at Lennon. He kind of plays a little slower, I think.
And you'll see him rotate around, and you.
Yeah, he likes to go underpass on allies and do the patent thing.
He'll sit in apartments and pick blue hall.
Yep. He likes to get in apartments. Really annoying.
Doing it the Hildebrand style of sniping on Lennon, so that could be something to watch out for Clinic.
It's always interesting seeing snipers how they're different on Lennon, because some will just not leave long.
I won't leave long,
and some will be at underpass and apartments and never go long.
If Jared wants me underpass, he's gonna have to tell me to come on.
He's gonna have to call it. He's gonna have to come pick you up
and pull me on over. because yeah, I ain't going off route to frag because people said that I was playing for movie clips when I came back, and guess what? Now I'm trying to die as little as I can, motherfuckers, and I'm
On the flip
succeeding.
side, I think this could be Clinic getting their shit together. I think
Could be.
Insom's back.
And Debo will be back.
Debo will be back. Tom, I don't know.
I don't know.
If Tom's back, they'll probably have their Exodia 6 formed. If not, they may see Stark again.
Right.
So,
And interestingly, Carpenter, another good sniper on this map.
yeah, so that's going to be a big sniper battle. Those
Yeah.
are probably my 2 dark horse snipers of
Yeah.
gold in terms of like, are they in the top 3 or are they not in the top 3?
I
They're
think
like right
Austin
outside.
has gotten himself pretty much to that point now. He seems to be very sharp of late.
I like he's definitely. I would say those 2 and then Hildy are my 3 like
Yeah.
that are right outside the top 5, maybe in the top 5. One of them might be. I don't know at any moment because like Carpenter is just consistent as fuck
He is. He does his
against
job.
all
He
the
does it well.
snipers.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Austin can just go crazy.
Yeah, Austin
He's
is
kind of more of a big hitter.
He is. He'll go and get 4 kills at a time, and then he might, not get kills for a few lives, but then he'll go drop another 4 on you.
And then Hildy's like a nice balance between the 2.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So just kind of weird how all 3 of those are all across the spectrum of sniper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly think if Clinic shows up with their best 6, that this is going to be very close.
I know. And Debo being there and being on is an X factor on this map because if you have a heavy that's going and putting up 40s both halves, usually you're going to win. Like, that's a big key for Clinic is to have Debo on, get him in a couple scrims so he's feeling good about it, and just deploy
Isn't he always
him.
on?
He is always on. He doesn't
He's
have a
always
job.
bitching.
Yeah. He's definitely always in the Discord talking shit about everybody else and how he never cheated. But will he be on for the match? That's the question because I think it's been, did he play on Solitude? I don't think so.
No, he was he didn't play Solitude. He was
He
suspended.
was suspended. And yeah. Wait, so did he play on Chemille?
No, he did play Solitude.
He did. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That was against PMC when he was going to flank Paul when he was prone sniping on a double cap, and he didn't notice
and he left
him.
early because he was so upset.
Yeah, so he's 0-30 for that half. Yeah. So, Debo, play. Help your team. That team is very different with a Debo and an Insom in the lineup.
Yeah,
so.
And again, I don't know if Insom's back. I thought Tom said he'd be back by now. Haven't seen him much,
No,
so
me
maybe
neither.
he's busy.
And Candy is another really big X factor for them on that map.
I like most of Clinic. Like I think they're all really well-rounded players, and they played together forever, so they have that chemistry.
That heavy team is very, very good for them, and that could be where the match gets made or broken. Vic and Debo are a good mix together with Debo's aggression and Vic being able to play a little bit more passive and hold on to shit for dear life. If those guys are on and they can really neutralize whoever's having for Icy Hot, whether it be Bees or Jesse, that would be the quickest way to find success. But I got to take Icy Hot here because it feels like they're due for a break. Like they're due for something to go right for them.
What do you think, Nine? You going with Icy Hot?
Icy Hot by 80, and this match is won in apartments.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I'm also going to take Icy Hot on the bounce back week. I'm a little worried. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like a 10-point win. It's going to be right down to the wire. That's assuming Clinic has their good players, or not that they're good, their starters.
That is the way Icy Hot does things. It's always 10 points or less. So
yeah, even if Clinic doesn't have their starters, it may still be a 10-point win.
Just because.
Okay, next matchup, Slow Loris versus Over.
Oh, yeah.
In the battle of the bottom 2 seeds at the moment.
Yeah. But that is another reason why. I guess for Slow Loris, it's can you play spoiler here? For Over, it's you better fucking win this or else you're in trouble.
Absolute must win for Over.
Unless, of course, I guess if Clinic were to lose, then they both end up in the same spot. So it's kind of like not as big of a deal if they both lose. But if they lose and Clinic win, actually, Icy Hot's God, never mind. I'm not going to get into this. So.
You're going full Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, I was going full Pepe there. Pepe's everywhere. So for Over, I have no idea what their lineup's going to be because Caffrey's been missing in action
just assume no Caffrey until further notice.
I'm going to hope for Sokka and No Name and Jizz to be deployed here. Sokka and No Name on well. Oh, well, No Name will go long, so Sokka and Jizz on well. No Name, best long player, history of game. He will have 80 kills. I can just guarantee
I'm praying
that.
for Hildy and whoever goes long.
Yeah,
because he's coming.
He's coming, and he's coming hard, and he's coming everywhere.
And it's gonna be
thick. It's
aggressive.
milky. It's and
It's
you
gonna
can't
be
escape the guy.
forcing himself
Yeah,
upon your routes.
he will creep
full
into
domination.
the night, and you will not know what hit you. And then Mata will be there as soon as he dies, finally, and he'll kill you too.
And if Sokka plays, he's a monster at well.
Yep, and he will wall you.
Jizz-
He will shit in your mouth. Jizz,
Just playing well all season.
very smart, and obviously is somebody who we just saw on Anzio. Well, didn't just, but when it was Anzio, we saw he can top frag just as easily as everybody else. Heavy wise, which is again, this could be a big difference maker here. I don't think it's going to be enough of a difference maker, but come and if it's Raven or come and Eclipse, whoever it ends up being as the other heavy, you just wish they had Caffrey, because with Caffrey that team is so well rounded. But Raven's been doing great on the heavy. You also could see if Sokka's missing, come on the rifle kind of thing, which is also scary. But then for slow Loris, you got Hildy, Hopper, DB, Nick, it looks like, has been getting in, Gall, Shreddies has been getting in, Chris has been playing well. Not sure who their actual 6 will be out of that. Hildy being isolated at long is unfortunate. He's been their big boy this season. Gall is a great well rifle. Chris, I'm sure, will be able to do well at well. Shreddies, if he's playing regularly. But when it comes down to it, slow Loris.
Probably just too much firepower.
Yeah, there's just too much. There really is. No name on this map is maybe better on this map than any other player is at any other map. He can probably do this in his sleep, honestly.
No name on Lennon is a force
something to see.
It is. It is a force of nature. It's nightmare fuel for all DOD players. And yeah, I honestly, that alone might be enough. We've seen him win matches single-handedly on this map, on that route, where nobody else was doing anything. So, just the fact that no name exists and is playing, you got to give it to Over. But then they also have a lot of other good players. It's just, I got to take Over by 220.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just too much going on for Over. Too many uncertainties on slow Loris. There's 2 maps you don't take Over for granted on, and this is probably the number 1 map.
Yeah.
Anzio being a close second.
Yep.
Harrington's honestly right up there too. But
It
yeah,
is.
you do not want to play Over on Lennon ever. And unfortunately, slow Loris, have fun. It's going to be a hell of a match. Gall is really good at this map.
He is.
Might be his best map. It's just not going to be enough.
Nah.
So I'm with you. I'm taking Over by probably 3 to 4 caps. What about you, Nine?
Yeah, Over by 150, 200 points, and I think No Name breaks triple digits on his frag score.
He very well might. That is maybe the story to look out for in that match. Can No Name break 100?
The KTP first.
Yep.
100 kill.
No one's been able to do it. They've come close, but not quite got there. So yeah, that's my story to watch for in that match for sure. But what about the match of the week?
And the match of the week is Typical versus T3.
That it is, which is a big one.
It is a big one, and it's going to be an early match, which T3 never loves. So
yeah, that is interesting.
Something to notate right off the bat. You might see 50. I think he's played in every early match for him.
I do believe. When they played Over, he was playing. When they played Typical, he was playing. Both of those matches are also losses for T3. They don't play early. They'll have guys not show. Patton seems to never be there for these matches. Till missed the last one. I don't know why. I never heard why either. But
yeah, I think they had PDX, they had Bud, they had
Leo,
and then 50, and the rest was Paul Kuhn Rang, and then
Paul Kuhn Rang for Patton. Yeah, and
I want to say Booten played too, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it could be in another ringer situation for them.
Yeah.
I think safe to say we'll see PDX, Leo, and Bud though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
P12 is almost certain not to play during the day on Sunday if that's when it goes down. So
you never know. They could do this on a weekday, but then I think it's even less likely to see a Nick Patton there. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what to expect because of the timing of when the match would be played in the afternoon for T3, and that alone does not bode well for them. For Typical, Scotty obviously not in here. You'll probably be seeing Timo, Cage, Nightmare, Milo. So that's 4. And then from there, you got Manor, Baron, Greets. Don't know who's going to play out of that. Greets maybe should get in because he's great at Lennon. Baron probably deserves to play after that performance last week. Same with Manor. They're going to have to figure out who the guys are here. And that's without their captain being able to play. Obviously, he can be there figuring it out with them because this isn't professional sports where they're barred from the premises. But
They should be.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Kick him from your Discord now.
You're done.
Yeah, you're spot on there. It's question marks for both sides,
Yeah.
and it's hard not to lean typical with that in mind, just because they're going to be in their comfort zone even without Scotty. Like
Yeah.
this may just mean Greece is going to have to get active,
Exactly.
and that might just be what they need. This might just fire them up. But
The guy does average 80 kills a match as of right now, so
they're a little down right now. They're just not thrilled about the situation, having to take that
Understandably.
forfeit loss,
Yeah.
losing the 1 seed, and now you get T3 on Lennon.
However,
So
it's if you get Frank in there, and Milo is just beast on Lennon as well.
yeah, and I feel like this Manor, whoever heavy's with him, is going to be doing
Yeah.
pretty strong
Oh, yeah.
performance.
I like that heavy team for a Lennon matchup. And then obviously you got something like Team Owner and Frank, and who, maybe Baron, maybe Cage can go on the third, maybe Matt. Life
Yeah.
certainly.
Life's played a lot of Lennon in his
Yeah.
day, so
I don't know how he feels about it. I don't think he loves it, so maybe not Matt. Maybe not Matt, actually. I think he hates Lennon, actually.
I think I remember him mentioning that after the no-go loss.
Yeah,
last season.
he was not happy about Lennon at all. So I'm guessing it'll be somebody more like Baron or Cage. But Frank and Milo and Timo all great at this map. Nightmare is a little bit, there's only so much you can really get done on this map. Obviously, there's spots you can get to with a sniper rifle. I imagine he'll try to avoid long when they're pushing for cap outs as much as possible, since it's just a nade fiesta over there. But it does help just isolate Nightmare a little bit more, where he can't go off killing your whole team unless he's going off route and potentially giving up a long cap because of how quickly it gets capped.
Yeah, the sniper battle is going to be very fun to watch.
If
Arguably
Nick plays.
the top 2 snipers. If Nick plays.
Yeah.
Definitely that.
If not, then I have no, are they going to get Paul to ring again? Are they going to get the Jaginator to ring? I don't know. They can ask me. Maybe I'll do it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think Paul's probably the likely target there,
Probably, yeah.
but who knows?
After I laid into
you got
T3
matches to cast, man.
I do.
Yeah,
I got to
You
cast
can't be
that
ringing
match.
when
That's
you gotta
right.
be casting.
I don't
What are
ring.
you talking about?
I can't ring. I can't miss any more matches casted. I already had to miss PMC over. I've missed a couple other good ones. So yeah, Paul Kuhn may be the most likely scenario there.
But yeah, like you said, let's just assume starters versus starters.
Yeah, starters.
And having said that, again, well, let's say Greets is in.
Right.
God, I don't know, man.
It's a tough call.
I'm thinking typical.
Okay.
I'm thinking typical. It's going to be close. Damn. Leo is so good at this map. He's really strong at just getting through tree and surprising you with caps on the first and flanking you. PDX has been unstoppable, and he's been rifling well with Leo.
Yeah.
So they've been giving you the double South American dance, and it's not easy at all. So
something to note, by the way, is that T3 lost this map last season.
Who did they play? Do you remember?
Take a guess.
Typical?
No.
PMC?
No. It's over with no name.
It was over with no
Yeah.
name. Oh, duh. I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we didn't play him.
No.
So, yeah. I don't know, man. It's really just going to depend on the rosters, and if it's the best against the best, I'm leaning typical.
Okay.
I think Milo can get enough done, and this is probably all PDX needs to go crazy is to hear this fucking prediction.
Yeah, you probably just
I probably just fucked typical here, but yeah, I'm taking typical, and I'm taking it by 32 points.
Okay, 32. That number's come up a bit today. Well, I mean, I think T3 is going to win, but I have to make my official prediction typical because I've been saying typical worst to first, and it wouldn't be very consistent of me. But I'm pretty sure T3 will win after having played them on Lennon a couple times in the last week. Whoever they put out there, unless they're missing 3 of their starters and have to use a ringer and 50, then maybe it's a little bit more dicey. But I just, the way that PDX has been playing on Lennon seems to be impossible to beat, really. But I'm not going to predict that. I'm going to say typical takes this by 23.
What do you think, Tone?
I think you guys are both crazy. This is typical. This is an early match. I think typical takes this by 150 plus.
Okay.
This is a blowout win. Milo and Greet style all over T3.
They very well could.
I think this is a very one-sided affair. I think the nades into Blue Room are going to be astronomical.
Teemo with those nades will be racking up kills there, I think.
Yeah, I think PDX and Leo make a valiant effort, but I think this is 150-plus win, typical.
Okay, so that's a unanimous on typical side, but
One of
Tony
us thinks it's a blowout.
It's a blowout, and he very well could be right. T3 did lose pretty handily to Over, which was mostly just no name. So
This is about to be PDX 50 both halves.
I mean, yeah, we
and
might
a huge win.
We're
for
just
T3
really
now.
fucking typical right now, maybe.
I know.
But
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. Typical. Too.
Sorry if that's what happens.
I think Typical is going to be really fired up because they're upset about what happened with Scotty, and I think that T3 is about to be the victim of some rage.
That is very pot. They're gonna win it for the Gipper. This is their chance to win it for the Gipper.
Yeah, we'll get the time on that hopefully, and definitely
Yes,
get that casted.
that will definitely
probably
be
be
casted.
early Sunday.
That would be perfect because I'll wake up and I'll DOD, baby. I'm ready.
Although, isn't the Thunder PMC match kind of early Sunday?
T3 Typical is at 3 o'clock. It's the same time as Slow Lore's Over, and all the gold matches are at the exact same time. The 2 internationals are at 3, and the two NA matches are at 9.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I can cast that for sure.
Per usual, I just have no idea.
No, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Jon Snow.
I mean, I've been fed nothing but, bullshit and kept in the dark for like 2 weeks now. Ryan Emo appears.
That's
all
what
of a sudden
happens.
he's got a computer. I'm the asshole. Okay.
He creeps into your room in the dark at the night.
Tony, if you need a ringer, I will cheat and destroy this team.
Now that would be a story.
All right. Well, that will cap us out here
That
on.
does.
Dude, term there. You're welcome. On Lennon, week 8. It's going to be a huge week. First
Very
week
much.
in gold with the redrawn seedings.
Yep.
The little mini playoffs, if you will. And then in silver, it's business as usual. A lot of matches need to be made up. So, guys, let us know when those get scheduled. And yeah, Lennon should be fun. I think everyone likes this map for the most part.
I think so, yeah.
Some snipers might not, but fuck them.
Fuck the snipers.
They're snipers.
We're fucking snipers. We're like goalies in hockey. We're all fucking weirdos.
Should be fun. Yeah, and I think we've... How long have we gone, Corey?
2 hours and 5 minutes.
Oh my god. Well, we almost kept it under 2.
Almost.
But again,
then we talked a little too long about our own match. That's where we went wrong.
Well, we got excited and we had Nein on, and
right.
That's just part of it.
It was a unique opportunity.
But again, thank you, Tony, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so
thank
much.
you for all the work you've done on the community.
Seriously, people
you've
don't
really
fucking realize.
put in the time, and it shows. And I've been having a blast for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think most people would agree that it's been fun.
Yeah. If they stop and be rational for 2 seconds, they would. But that's asking a lot these days. Anyway.
Sometimes that's asking a lot, yeah.
Oh, I did have one more question. I think Tox was wanting me to ask you about the potential of an in-season draft. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
I'm just gonna say no.
Like fuck
just
that.
wanted to get one in on the way out.
No.
All right, but for real, let's pinch this off. Let's call it a day.
Let's do it. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Tony, as always. Both Tonys, but especially Nein for being on. Good luck, everybody, this week. We'll let you know when the casts are happening. And yeah, that's the DODCAST episode 9. We love you guys. Peace.